friends! Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Xoxo, this is Xoxo Tarot, and in today's pick a card reading, we are doing one of my favorite topics, which is what you don't see about yourself. So my goal of this one specifically is to look at the positive elements of yourself and the gifts and the strengths that you have that maybe you don't recognize, or maybe you look at from a more negative lens for whatever reason. So my goal today is to get you to realize how amazing you are and to stop sleeping on yourself and your potential and how wonderful you are. So we have 4 different piles to choose from today. Feel free to pick more than one. If you're drawn to more than one, that's absolutely okay. But starting with pile 1, I am going to be using the Spacious Tarot, and I have this Bismuth alien head on top. And then for pile 2, I am going to be using Britt's Third Eye Tarot, and I have this Yooperlite Third Eye stone on top. And then for pile 3, I am going to be using the Blue Earth Tarot, and I have this Rainbow Clear Quartz on top. And then finally for pile 4, we are going to be using the Modern Witch Tarot, and I have this Amazonite Dragon Head on top. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. Like I said, it is absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. The energy check is essentially going to be the reading, so if it's not resonating, it's not meant for you. I would definitely try a different pile. You should at the least be able to see these things about yourself. So if I'm telling you things about yourself that don't sound like you, then you found the wrong pile, and I would try a different one. But hopefully you find the right pile for you. Like I said, it's absolutely okay to choose more than one pile. It is quite possible that I could not get all of your wonderful qualities in just one. So feel free to pick more than one if you're drawn to more than one. There are no rules here, just vibes, and as long as it resonates, it's for you. And if it doesn't, discard it. So once you picked your pile or piles, you can go ahead and scroll to the description box or the comment section, where I will have all the timestamps listed down below. And once you have picked your pile or piles, I will see you in your reading. Hi there, pile 1. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Bismuth alien head and the Spacious Tarot, then this is going to be your reading on what you don't see about yourself. So I'm going to shuffle your tarot, and then I am going to use an oracle card to clarify. But while I'm shuffling, I did just quickly want to shout out everyone who leaves me a like, a comment, or subscribes. I can't tell you guys enough like how helpful that is, especially likes, because not only does that help me in the video, but it also lets me know what you guys are enjoying and what you want to see more of. So thank you guys so much for just all the love and support. And thank you so much for keeping the comment section a place that's so kind and loving. I just love seeing you guys hype each other up and be so respectful and kind. So thank you for being here. Thank you for existing, and let's go ahead and see what you don't see about yourself. So pile 1, Spirit. What do they not see about themselves that they need to? Okay, well, let's start with this one. We have the King of Cups. We have the 3 of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Pentacles. Does pile 1 not see about themselves? Spirit. We have the 7 of Pentacles, okay? And on the back of the deck, we have the Hanged One. Interesting. Okay, let's move these just a little bit so that Mr. Alien Head has room, and the back of the deck does as well. For those of you who are curious about what the back of the deck means, it never has like a standard meaning. In this case, I'm kind of taking it to be something like all-encompassing, or a main idea, or sometimes a hidden element, but like in this case I will kind of see it as more of a main idea, but there's no rules. I just kind of do what feels right. But then to clarify these, I'm going to use the Personal Power Oracle. So can we clarify the King of Cups, Spirit? Okay, we have, I am a problem solver. Can you clarify the Three of Pentacles for me, please, Spirit? We have I am authentic. Can you clarify the Nine of Pentacles? We have I am knowledge. I love this card so much. And can we clarify the Seven of Pentacles? We have I am determined. Beautiful. And on the back of the deck, we have I am passionate. So, wait, let me make sure this guy's in the... Are they all in the frame? Okay, cool. Yay. Okay. The first thing that we need to talk about, pile one, is the fact that you may have wounds around your worth and also wounds when it comes to career and your ability to believe in yourself. The first thing I need you to see about yourself is that you are absolutely capable of anything you put your mind to, and you have the work ethic, the drive, the skills, and the knowledge to achieve whatever you are dreaming of. I need you to know, pile one, just starting off with that King of Cups, you have such a big heart, and that is so needed in every single corner of the world. There is no area in life where you do not have value because you look at the world from a place of compassion. You have a lot of emotional intelligence, and the world needs your perspective. You may feel afraid to share your perspective or share your ideas, especially if you work in a collaborative setting or you're building your career. If you are in a career that's like self-employed, or maybe even you're not employed at all right now, maybe you're studying, or you are like a stay-at-home parent or something like that, but you're considering maybe entering the workforce again, or just adding something to your plate, or maybe just taking a step into a new realm, or whatever the case may be, whether you're established in a career and just feeling uncertain of yourself, or you're wanting to make a big jump or a big move towards something and you're uncertain of yourself, whatever the case may be, what you need to know is that there's no wrong path for you because you bring value to whatever path you choose. What Spirit really wants you to see about yourself is that the happiness that matters the most when it comes to what you do in order to reap abundance is yours. Because you might be stressing and worrying about, where are my gifts going to be most appreciated, or where is, like, I feel like you're looking for the place where you belong, and your guides want you to see that you belong everywhere, like everywhere. There is no place where you cannot bring value, because your perspective, your emotional intelligence, and your big heart are one of the most wonderful things about you. And the fact that we have I'm a problem solver here, I think that you are definitely overly critical of yourself, and you have a hard time recognizing how much compassion you truly have. Maybe that's because you have a hard time extending that compassion towards yourself, and that would be something that you need to see about yourself, because more than anything, you need to have that compassion towards yourself. You're not truly having compassion for others if it doesn't extend to yourself as well. And I think one thing that you may be struggling with is you may be trying to solve issues right now from a very logical place. And I think Spirit is encouraging you to kind of get out of your head and into your heart when it comes to making decisions and following the path that you're headed down, or making decisions and figuring out what path you want to be on. The fact that the King of Cups is clarified by I am a problem solver, I think that one thing that you need to see about yourself is that your heart has solutions that your brain cannot conceptualize, and your heart has answers that will unfold in time. I feel like you may be trying to figure everything out before you take the first step, but what Spirit is really saying here is that all you need in order to know something is right for you is this pull within your heart that not only feels uplifting, but also just feels, well, it could be exciting, but it feels more like a deep pull from a place of meaning and from a place that resonates with your heart space. I think that you maybe invalidate your perspective and your skills because there isn't a whole lot of representation in terms of solving problems and just making decisions in general from a place of intuition rather than a place of logic. And it makes sense that you would feel like this part of you is less valuable or can't serve you because there are so many spaces that, well, not just so, the vast majority of the world operates from a distorted masculine perspective. And that's not to say that that's like, and by what I mean by that is just essentially like, especially in the West, we're heavily conditioned to work all the time, to, especially in the States, to work despite how it's affecting our mental or physical health, to put our career and our job above any emotional, familial, any health needs, to prioritize growth and profit over satisfaction, feeling, your soul. Like, it's very common for people to say the phrase that they've sold their soul and to, lesser gods like money or power. And what Spirit is trying to get you to understand is that you don't need to align with that perspective in order to be successful. In fact, what we're going to see within the next few decades is a deconstruction of that mentality and a shift societally where we recognize how important it is to not be so driven by that distorted perspective of profit, of money, of power at all cost, and rather, coming back into balance with ourselves and with our heart spaces and looking at things from a more all-encompassing perspective, and one that doesn't get rid of logic entirely, but rather allows logic to work with love and compassion and the ideals that you have instilled within you. And I think that you may actually play an instrumental part in some way in inspiring this shift. And so one thing Spirit wants you to see about yourself is that just because you don't see the deepest parts of yourself being expressed in the outside world doesn't mean that they're wrong. It means that you're a leader and you're meant to share these with other people because you are going to solve problems that can't be solved yet because they're being addressed from that distorted logical lens. So don't beat yourself up and tear your perspective down, because not only do you have an incredibly strong intuition and an incredible heart, but the world needs it and we need you to share it. And if you do have, I do want to say signs here. You don't have to have any of these signs, but if you do, take them as extra confirmation. We have Pisces with the Hanged One, Scorpio with I am passionate, Capricorn with I am determined, Sagittarius with I am knowledge, Leo with I am authentic, and Virgo with I am a problem solver. So that could be extra confirmation that this reading is for you, but doesn't need to be. If it resonates, it's for you. Now, moving on to the Three of Pentacles and I am authentic. One thing that your guides want you to see is that you're not meant to be isolated in whatever it is that you do. There may be elements where you're isolated and where it is important for you to rely on yourself and your own independence, but I think that you may be afraid to collaborate with others, or if you do collaborate with others in some way, you may be afraid to really share more of yourself. And I think one thing that Spirit wants you to know is that the more you are authentically yourself and confident in that, the more you're not only going to attract positive attention, well, you may also attract negative attention in the sense that you might trigger people who are not stating in their authenticity, but that's not your problem. It's their problem. But also, I think that you underestimate how many like-minded individuals or individuals that would work well with your authentic energy are out there. Maybe you haven't met them yet, or maybe they're even in your workspace, but you both haven't even communicated yet. I think it's important to remember, especially when you're in certain spaces like school or work, especially when you're new, obviously it's very easy to be shy and kind of reserved. And, maybe you consider yourself more of a shy and reserved type person. It's so funny that I say that though, because every time I use this deck, I just think that this looks like Alyssa Edwards, the drag queen, and like she's the opposite of shy and reserved. So maybe you could use a little Alyssa Edwards energy in your life. If you have never heard of her, you should look her up. But in this case, I feel like you're writing yourself and your gifts off and projecting the assumption that people are automatically going to reject you for who you truly are, or presuming that people won't understand you or won't want to grow with you. And the thing is that not everyone will, and not everyone will appreciate your authentic self. But the ones that will, and the ones that will be drawn to that, are going to be people that you can not only build with, but you could collaborate with in a career sense. And also, if you are trying to get the attention of a professor or a boss or something like that, the way to do that is to be more confident in yourself and in your truth. And I feel like you're also being encouraged to take more risks in terms of putting out work that is meaningful to you. I feel like you're also being encouraged to stand up for yourself and stand up for your value and what you bring to the table. The Three of Pentacles talks a lot about work, but it also talks about like things like internships, which in that case, if you're like looking for an internship, or if you're currently in one, or apprenticeship or something like that, you're really being encouraged to be yourself and shine your inner light, because I feel like the people that you may be working under will find it endearing, and also it will help you stand out. But I think that there are also people within your environment, or within the environment you will head into once you forge this new path, it kind of depends on where you're at, that will be really drawn to your light. And that is how you will find the people that you're meant to grow and collaborate with. And also, I think that if you've been looking for just more people to have in your life, or just more connections in your life, I think that Spirit is saying, the best connections will be formed with people that you feel safe to be yourself around. And the way you know that is by being your authentic self and seeing how people respond to that. Given how intuitive you are, it may be that you can kind of tell right off the bat whether someone is going to be accepting or not. So obviously, like, if you feel unsafe, don't do anything that you're uncomfortable with. But I think that you may assume that someone is going to not understand you or reject you, and you may actually be rejecting them before you have the opportunity to see who they truly are. So be careful of the assumptions you project onto others because of your own insecurities about who you are. Because here's the thing, the person that you truly are is so awesome, and that is something that you should be proud of and not be afraid to share. And unfortunately, lights like yourself deal with a lot of backlash or just negativity, because people that don't feel safe to be their authentic selves, or don't know how to express their authentic selves, or feel ashamed of their authentic selves, you're expressing something that they feel like they don't have. And that is not a reflection on you. It's a reflection of their own insecurity. So I feel like one thing you are meant to see is that you cannot lose when you embrace who you truly are, because all you're doing is uprooting the connections that are not meant to be around you and solidifying the connections that are going to be mutually uplifting and just help you grow into yourself even more. Trust that if someone is rejecting you, or if someone isn't seeing you properly and you're being your authentic self, they're just not meant to be someone that's like a collaborator, or someone that's meant to be in your inner circle. Because one thing that I see as well is that you could actually form like deep rooted bonds with people that are in your current workplace, in a workplace that you're headed towards. A lot of this is centered and geared around work, but it doesn't even have to be like, you may not be working yet, or you may be in a transitory phase. Like, I don't know, it's going to differ for every single one of you, but what you do need to know is that if you're manifesting these sorts of connections, just know that you will find them most easily by sharing yourself, being your authentic self, because you're essentially putting out the signal for those people to find you by, saying, here I am. So be aware of that. And also, if you are in a newer workplace, or if you're just in a workplace where you're wanting to make more connections, but you're having a hard time talking to people, I think you're being encouraged to put yourself out there and be confident. If there's someone you want to get to know, start talking to them. Like, the worst thing that happens is they're socially awkward, or they don't want to talk to you. Whatever, that's their loss. You're a very interesting person. You are knowledge, bro. Like, that's their problem. So speaking of that, let's look at this line right here. So with the Nine of Pentacles and I am knowledge, one thing that you need to see about yourself is that you are completely capable of achieving material abundance. And if you haven't yet, know that that is in your future, and that if you're studying right now, that is possible for you. One thing that I want you to know is that there are a lot of ways in which, especially if you're in school, you're studying, people talk about potential careers and kind of talk down about them, or like certain degrees or things like that. Like, oh, you're not going to make any money doing this, or you're not going to make any money doing that. And here's the thing, that does not serve anyone or anything. Because first of all, if you're basing what you want to do on how much money you're going to make doing it, if that comes at the cost of your misery, then it's not really worth it, is it? But I feel like you have this assumption that you can either follow a traditional path and be secure, or follow a path that you're passionate about and be less secure, or be broke. And I feel like one thing you need to know is that's not the case, especially in 2023. Also, this is timeless, so whenever you find it in the future, if it's resonating, it's meant for you. But there are so many new jobs being created, and so many ways in which creative people are able to forge their own independent careers. Hi, hello. Like, I didn't know that I was going to be doing tarot with my life. Like, I wouldn't have known that. Do you know how many people told me as like a psych and history major, like, oh, what are you going to do with that? Like, shove my degree up your ass. Like, that's what I'm going to do with it. But, you know, I don't even really use it except for like when I'm, you know, using references from what I've learned in my readings, and it's awesome. Will this be what I do forever? I don't know. I love doing it. I'm going to do it as long as I love doing it, but I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for me. But what you need to know is that it's okay to take a road less traveled, and it's okay to do something that you may not know what the outcome is around it. Because like I said already, you are going to bring value to any area that you invest your energy into. And the fact that we have I am knowledge, you're really being encouraged to explore the areas of your life that give you purpose, and also that make you feel inspired, not just on an emotional level, but on a spiritual level as well. I also think with the Nine of Pentacles here, in terms of your independence, I think that you are being encouraged to look at ways in which you can get more knowledge and experience on your own, whether that is through self-study. Like for me, I'm self-taught when it comes to tarot, and like there are a lot of things where you don't necessarily get training for it, but you're just good at it. Like think about how many people today are, you know, getting whole ass record contracts because they went viral or things like that. Like there are so many ways in which you can be successful and not have a traditional career. Now, like if you want to be a brain surgeon, please do not like just, you know, look up like a Wikipedia page on it. Like that you should go to school for. But, you know, like if it's a creative thing or something where or like an entrepreneurial thing, there are so many ways in which you can grow and learn and make a living for yourself. And sure, it might mean that like you're sacrificing certainty or sacrificing certain security, but if that sacrifice is more meaningful to you than being in a secure position that drains your soul, that's something to be aware of. But also, I think one thing too is that if there are any people in your life that you're inspired by, don't be afraid to reach out to them and ask for advice, or ask for mentorship, or ask to shadow, or ask for anything. Because I really think that not only are you meant to be abundant yourself, but I think that there are sources around you in terms of your like whether it is like professors, bosses, family members, whoever it may be, independent and successful people. I think one, if you're not surrounded by people like that, maybe embracing more people like that in your life, or looking for people like that in your life, whether as friends or mentors, anything of that nature, they're definitely going to rub off on you in positive ways and give you insight and information that you wouldn't get from a book or from a class. So be aware of that. But also, I think one thing you need to see about yourself as well is that, like I said earlier, you are absolutely capable of achieving whatever it is you put your mind to. And I genuinely believe that whatever area you fall into or are in, you can not only make a difference, but even if you jump around to a bunch of different places, you will still have that security. Like, and that might actually be what leads to your like financial security if you're not in a financially secure place right now, where you might like jump from job to job to job, but you're gaining knowledge that you're not going to see until you land into something that is like just really right for you and that feels right with your heart. And it might take a lot of trial and error. It might take time to get there. But I feel like what you need to know is that those seeds are already planted, speaking of the Seven of Pentacles, and you are getting there, my dude. The biggest thing that you need to know is that you need to believe in yourself and in your capabilities of succeeding. And you need to trust that you not only have so much value and wisdom to share with the world already, but as you continue following this path, you are just going to gain even more wisdom. I feel like what you need to know is that the knowledge that you learn from your path, like the most important things that you're going to learn are going to happen through action, not through putting your nose in a book. Now, that's not to say that books aren't valuable. I'm a book hoe. I love books, and reading books and enriching yourself and getting more knowledge is wonderful. But don't let that way of learning inhibit you from taking action and taking risks and doing things that are outside of your comfort zone, because it's those situations that really push you beyond what you're comfortable with or push you outside of that comfort zone that are going to teach you the most and that are going to make you feel the most empowered and recognize just how much strength you have within you and just what you're actually capable of. Because one thing that I don't think you see about yourself is that you're capable of achieving so much more than you think you are. And I really like feel this intense beef with any adult figures in your life that talked down to you or made you feel like you couldn't be successful. Drop their Addy. I will light a bag of dog shit on fire and leave it on their doorstep. In Minecraft, allegedly. But anyway, they were wrong. And it could have been that they were jealous of what you were expressing. But also, I think that there are just so many adults that are just haters because they're not happy with how their lives turned out and they think it's too late for them to change. And so they shit on the youths for still having light and motivation. And so I just need you to know that anyone that made you feel like you weren't capable, anyone that made you feel like you weren't enough, they were wrong, and those words do not need to remain in your head a moment longer. So moving on to the Seven of Pentacles and I am determined, this is the evidence that you will be able to achieve whatever you set out to achieve. The Seven of Pentacles is a lot about patience and a lot about planting seeds. So I would be willing to bet that there are already seeds that you've planted, whether consciously or not, that are leading you to where you are meant to end up. But I think one thing that you also need to like let go of is this idea that you're meant to reach some like destination where you're like, yes, I made it and I'm here and I'm living life. Like, you're doing that all the time. There isn't going to be this moment where everything clicks and you're just like, yeah, I've done it. I've done the thing. Life is a journey, not a destination. And I know you know that, but you forget that a lot. And I think that one thing that you need to know is that you don't want to rush this process, because if you do, not only are you going to miss out opportunities to learn and grow, but also you're going to reflect in the future and realize that there were so many parts of your life path right now and in the near future that you didn't embrace and enjoy because you were so focused on what's next. The fact that we have I am determined here, what you need to know is that any seeds you plant or any action you take towards building the life that you want, the career that you want, the whatever you're trying to cultivate for yourself, no matter what, I do think it's related to career, family life, or just like financial security in general, you're going to get there. And you, I think, honestly, are going to surpass your own expectations. You just need to trust that when you take action, the universe is going to support that, especially when it comes from a place of service and it comes from a place of love. The best kind of service is service that not only helps people or the world around you in some way, but also is fulfilling to your heart. And so I think that Spirit is saying that those opportunities that really resonate with your heart, those are going to be the ones that are the most fruitful, because no matter what you reap from it materially, the satisfaction that you get and the wisdom and the growth that you gain from it, like, those are gifts that are priceless. And those are things you're going to see as your path evolves and you recognize it in hindsight. But what you need to know is that you're doing amazing and you're doing just fine. And there is nowhere you need to be but sitting right here watching this video and recognizing that you're doing great, and that whatever you do, as soon as you click off, is what you are meant to do, so long as it is resonating with your heart. If you are miserable and unhappy, then that is a sign that you are probably headed in a direction that is not aligned with you. But one thing I think you need to know about yourself as well is that you may jump the gun in terms of like thinking that if you don't immediately get results for what you're working on, then you're failing. And that's not the case. So there's really a need to recognize that solid, beautiful things oftentimes take time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and it is going to require a bit of determination. Sorry, I'm burping. Determination and trust in your own abilities to achieve what you want. But the thing is that you're a hard worker and you're so capable of achieving whatever you desire. But oftentimes, really solid manifestations and solid creations take a lot of time to grow, and they start with the foundations, and then you can go from there. So if you've already started planting seeds, like for example, started your own business, or started this new job, like, or maybe you're applying to places or something like that, just know that just because you don't receive the outcome you want immediately doesn't mean you're doing the wrong thing. It just means that wasn't the right path for you within that area, within that path you're exploring. You know what I'm saying? Remember that rejection is divine protection, and that what is meant for you won't miss you. So continue to put in the work towards what's meaningful for you, towards what's sweet. You know, with like bees, I think of honey. So the things that make life sweeter, those are the things that you're meant to invest your time and energy into. But with the back of the deck energy being the Hanged One, and I am passionate, I think one thing that you need to see about yourself is that you're not as trapped and isolated as you may feel. And maybe, I don't know why I didn't just realize this, but it's so funny that you picked the alien head and then this Hanged One is on the moon. You may feel like sometimes that you're not a part of Earth, and that Earth just doesn't understand you. You may wish to be among the stars, and you may resonate with the term starseed or things like that. And here's the thing. You are not separate from the rest of humanity. If you were meant to be separate from the rest of humanity, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be doing this. Now, unless there are extraterrestrial beings watching my videos, which in that case, hi, how are you doing that? What you need to know is if you're on this planet, you're here for a reason. And if you are having a hard time cultivating abundance for yourself, it may be because of your own fears around grounding, your fears around taking action in the physical realm, or just this belief that you may have this inherent belief within you that you're going to fail, or that you can't achieve things, or that people will never understand you, or that you are always going to be on the outskirts of society and that you'll never be fully accepted. And that's just not true. You're a leader, and you're someone whose perspective is so needed. But I think what you're not realizing is that part of the reason why you feel unseen is because you're not showing yourself to the world. You're not making yourself vulnerable. It is vulnerable to share yourself with the world. But the thing is that vulnerability takes strength. And you have that strength in spades. And the more you do share yourself with the world, the more you will realize that you're safe too. Because not only will you be attracting those connections that resonate with your authenticity and that will, be there during tough times when you are feeling down on yourself or you do need a pep talk, but also you'll learn that people's negative reactions to you are not something that you even have to worry about, not something that you even need to give an ounce of thought. The fact that we have I am passionate here, you need to see, especially, the fact that we have Scorpio energy here, you have the ability to perceive like the deepest depths of human emotion and human souls. And that's such a beautiful gift, You're out here hanging around on the moon. And the thing is that you're not meant to be on the moon. You're meant to be on Earth. And so what you're really being encouraged to recognize is that you can't manifest the success if you're not grounding all of this beautiful inner work you've done on yourself, if you're not grounding this emotional intelligence, if you're not sharing your beautiful heart with the world. Right now, what you need to see is that you weren't brought to Earth to learn how to exist outside of it and survive. You were meant to learn how to integrate it with your own higher vibration and inspire and evolve, help others evolve, motivate others to look at things from a different perspective, create change, create a different perspective. You have a different perspective, and that's beautiful. But what you need to see is that your perspective may be holding you back from integrating your gifts and sharing them with the world because you feel like you're either not welcome here or that you're outside of that somehow you are not a part of humanity, and you are. And sometimes it requires embracing or just learning to accept the fact that you're here and you're human and learning to find the gifts in that. Sometimes it's hard. Being a human is hard, and we all know that. But there are so many gifts that come from being human, and the earth itself is so beautiful, and humans deserve better than the ways in which our society is operating right now. And you have a very real gift to create space that is more compassionate, more evolved, more aware, more truthful, and more authentic. And when you just want to hide from the world and run away in fear and, go back to the moon, which, like, bro, I don't blame you. I literally had a dream I went to the moon once, and I'm, like, still not over it. Like, as soon as moon tourism is, like, being funded, put money in it, catch me on the first flight. Well, no, not the first. I don't want to be the guinea pig. Catch me on, like, the 15th, if I can afford it. Manifesting that. Anyway, what you need to know is that when you are in that space where you are afraid to share yourself and afraid to put yourself out there, the juice or the fuel that is going to help you feel the fear and do it anyway is the passion for the purpose underlying why you're doing the thing, why you're putting yourself out there in the first place. So if you are passionate, for example, about, starting your own career, then, marketing yourself or putting yourself out there on social media or doing whatever you need to do, facing your fears and integrating yourself with the community, with whatever communities you feel drawn to share yourself with, that's where you need to head. I feel like what you need to see is, the Hanged Man is all about, like, surrender, and also, like, it also kind of represents, like, a lack of movement and action. And I feel like what you need to know is that you don't need to take action when you don't feel inspired. Your best action is going to come from a place of inspiration. Inspired action is really the key for you. And your most fulfilling risks and the risks that are going to be worth taking are the ones that come from a place of passion, that come from a place of, like, deep truth within you. So I feel like what you need to see is that you can't really succeed and make these dreams happen if you're not willing to integrate with the rest of society and take up your space within it, because you deserve to take up space just as much as anyone else. And society needs more of you. We need you to take up more space, actually. So with that being said, I feel like you're really being encouraged to embrace any transformations you're going through right now and really challenge yourself to find the beauty, not only in yourself, but in other humans. Pay attention to the aspects of humanity that you hate the most, because those are the parts of humanity that you need to understand the most and find compassion for the most, because you may have them rooted within you somewhere that you don't recognize yet. But everything that you're doing right now is just leading to more and more transformations. And the more you grow and evolve, the more you're going to realize you are always safe to share yourself and that you are always going to be okay. But sometimes we just have to feel the fear and do the thing anyway, because we feel that it's right in our hearts and see the results for ourselves later. And what you need to know is that not only are you more than capable of achieving what is in your heart. Yes. Okay. If you have not heard of the cinematic classic Barbie as Princess and the Pauper, fucking snubbed at the Oscars, there is a song in it that says the following: when you live your dreams, you'll find destiny. It's written in your heart. Fucking bars. That movie, oh my God, like, so wise. I cannot believe it is a children's movie. There's so much wisdom in there. Like, everyone should watch it. That might be a second channel video, which I'm in the process of making. Anyway, with that being said, the biggest thing that you need to see about yourself is that you are so capable and that you are here for a reason, and that we need you. We need your voice. We need your light. We need your perspective. We need your authenticity, and we need your big heart. So thank you for being here. Thank you for not giving up, and thank you for having the courage to share more of yourself with the world, because we need you. Time to take up space. Stop hiding. Get off the damn moon and come back to the earth. We'll go to the moon later. Anyway, we're going to move on to guidance now. And I'm going to start by looking at these. I haven't used these affirmator cards in forever. So I have one for each area, or for each one that I have. So this one's really related to creativity. This one's related to family. This one's related to love and relationships, work, and the regular one. So we'll just see what guidance there is for every aspect of your life. So to start, we have no need to do. I am exactly where I need to be, exactly when I need to be. There's nothing more I need to do. I mean, yes, there will always be laundry and taxes, but in terms of my life's path, I don't need to do anything because I'm already here. I take a deep breath and relax and trust, and then do laundry. So yeah, this is kind of exactly what I was saying. If you don't feel called to move forward, you don't have to. I feel like there's a lot of pressure, especially for young people, to feel like they need to know what they're doing with their lives. And as any person in existence knows, most people have no clue what they're doing for their entire life, and that's okay. I often think too, if you do resonate with the term starseed, one thing is I think you should get this book. It's called Letters to a Starseed by Rebecca Campbell. It might be a really great book for you. I found it to be really helpful for me. But also, starseeds also feel this not just anyone can feel this sense of time is running out and you're running out of time. And the thing is that you're not. You're exactly where you need to be when you need to be there. And what you need to do right now is just relax and enjoy the rest of this video. And after that, just do what feels right. But let's see what else. Balance. I'm burping so much. It seems like you're releasing a lot of negativity when it comes to your career, or maybe you are making a big career change that's kind of scary. I'm so proud of you for not staying in a situation that doesn't serve you. Burning the candle at both ends, that might give you double the ambiance and twice the scent of, I can't say that word, but you can't keep up that kind of energy evaporation forever. This card is reminding you to sprinkle some balance into your work-life recipe. When's the last time you ate a good meal, spent time with old friends, set foot outside? If you're working so hard and your tank is empty, then you're not really doing your job any favors. So take a moment to stop and smell the word I can't pronounce. Your full-time sanity will thank you. Yes, that is so important. We also have acceptance. When I get to know new people, I accept their actual traits rather than the ones I project onto them. What did I say? I definitely feel like you project this idea that people are going to dislike you, or people are going to judge you, or, reject you before you even shared yourself or before you've even said hi. And that's got to stop, because you're rejecting yourself. They're not rejecting you. You're rejecting the opportunity to get to know people because you think that they will reject you. That's your projection. Same goes for not new people I already know. Acceptance is a delicate art that reminds us everyone is their own unique self and we can't expect them to be anything but. Man, how do those snowflakes do it? And that's the thing as well, is accepting the fact that not everyone's going to appreciate you. Not everyone is going to see your value, and that's okay. That's on them. We have listening. I am an impeccable listener, and I respect what my loved ones have to say. We might not always agree. In fact, I think we're actually having different conversations, but I can always give them space to vent while swatting away the silent rebuttals and or yelling in my head. So I also think too, you know, it may be helpful for you to recognize, like, maybe one thing that I realized is that if I want to be heard, I have to listen. And it's kind of a paradox, but the best type of communication is when you come from a place of listening and go from there. But we also have proliferation. I put quality control on hiatus and welcome prolific quantity with untamed delight. Quality's cool at some parties, but not when it invites its friend paralyzing scrutiny. Oh, damn, I resonate with that. So for now, I'll let my ideas proliferate like grass, and rather than agonize over every tiny blade, I'll let the whole darn field spring up. Once we're having a picnic, no one's going to care what those blades are up to anyway. Yeah, don't be afraid to just try different things. Like, I'm even falling into this trap, so don't feel bad if you do. But the biggest thing you need to know is that, like, the more you just create, the easier it will be for you to get in that flow. And also, creation is freedom, like, period. And to be human is to create. It's a fundamental human right to be creative. And there are no bounds on creativity. Unfortunately, we perceive there being bounds on creativity because, one, you know, creative pursuits are becoming monetizable, but also, you know, we have this idea that if we can't monetize a creative pursuit, or that if we're not good at something, then our art is invalid, or what we create is invalid, or it's not good. And it's like, nah, those are all just human judgments and perceptions that don't serve anyone. So I'm going to finish this reading off with a postcard from Spirit, your guides, whatever you believe in. If you would like this card to come from some sort of spiritual, you know, a passed on loved one, an ancestor, a spirit guide, an angel, and anything, you know, just set the intention that the message is coming from them. As long as that it's coming from a place of love, that's really all that matters. But Spirit, what message do you have for pile 1 moving forward? What do they need to know at this time, and what guidance will serve them best? Okay. And it looks like there's an angel on this card. So if you, and it says wild, oh no, with love. I thought it said wild love. It says with love. But I was trying to read that, but I don't know if it's significant. But yeah, if you were asking about it from an angel or a guardian angel or something like that, there's confirmation. But we have dearest you, miracles never run out. Look back over your life and you will see so many moments of synchronicity when all the right people, the right places, and the right opportunities and the right time just showed up without any of your help. Think back to how you felt just before a miracle happened. You felt you were giving up, but it was more like a gentle surrender to whatever was about to happen. We want you to know that miracles are being concocted for you, and you will never, ever run out of them. You just don't get to choose how they come or who will deliver them, when they will show up, and what they will do for you. All of that is our department. Spirit knows what is best for you and what wants to be expressed through you. You are incredible and amazing and a magnet for miracles. Miracle magnet. Okay, listen, if you've gotten this far, comment that you're a miracle magnet. Affirm that for yourself. Love that for you. I'll affirm it for me too. We're miracle magnets. Love that for us. That would be a good mantra for you today. We're on it. Relax. If you only knew how much you are loved. Sigh. You are so loved, pile 1. I love you so much. And I'm going to be so mad at you if you don't embrace your full potential and recognize how incredible you are, because we need more people shining their light and speaking their truth, and you have a beautiful truth to share. So you better do it, okay? Otherwise, I'm going to be really sad. I'm going to cry myself to sleep if you don't embrace how wonderful you are. And yes, I am totally manipulating you, and I don't care, because you need to share more of yourself and recognize how wonderful you are. So, pile 1, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. If you enjoyed it, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That is another simple and easy way to support me, especially like monetarily, so thank you for doing that. But if you'd like to support me and show appreciation for what I do, like I said in the intro, you can like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to click that little bell, that notification bell, to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. Shout out to my notification squad. If you want me to see your comments, I usually first read comments when I first upload. But other ways to support me, you could check out a reading with an extended, or just any other reading in general. You can check out my candle line. Well, this is not part of my candle line. It's just part of Angelic Magic's candles. I use her candles, but I have a candle line through her. And you can get any candles from my line, or like in this case, I'm using the Evil Eye candle because it matches the blue. Any candles for 10% off using code ASO10. I also have merch link down below, and I have social media. But that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Yooperlite, I don't know if it's a third eye or just an eye with a triangle, the Yooperlite eye triangle guy, and the Britt's third eye tarot, then this is going to be your reading on what you don't see about yourself. So I'm going to shuffle your tarot, and then I will use an oracle deck to clarify your cards. But while I'm shuffling, I did quickly want to shout out everyone who leaves me a like, comment, subscribe, things like that. It helps me more than you realize, and I just want to thank you guys for that, because it's a small thing, but it makes a huge difference. And also, it lets me know what you want to see more of, and lets me know what also you want to see less of. But with that being said, I'm just grateful you're here, and grateful to be reading for you. So let's go ahead and start. Spirit, what does pile 2 not see about themselves? Woo! Okay, we got 2 so far. We got the 8 of Swords, and we have Strength. Yeehaw. I don't know why I felt the need to say yeehaw. But really, I shouldn't need an excuse to say yeehaw. They always say yeehaw, but they never ask haw ye. Anyway, what else does pile 2 need to know about themselves? We have the 9 of Wands. Let's just pile. We have the Page of Wands. And on the back of the deck, we have the 4 of Pentacles. Okay. Let me move these over. Just so that I've got enough room up here. Okay. I know they're a little chaotic. I'll fix them after we clarify. So I'm using the Personal Power Oracle to clarify. So give her a good shuffle as well. Another way to support me completely free and also help me pay my bills is to let the ads run while you do something else. I'm obviously not a barbarian. I don't think that you should just watch ads of your own, use your time doing that. Definitely do something else, but leaving them running is very helpful, so thank you to those who do that. Maybe take that time to write things down that you remember or something like that, or do whatever you want. Like I said, just grateful you're here. So, Spirit, can we clarify the 8 of Swords, please? Okay, we got 2. We have I am safe and I am a healer. Wow. Yeah, okay. Can we clarify Strength, please? We have I can change my thoughts. Beautiful. Can we clarify the 9 of Wands? That's so funny. This came out in the exact same position in pile 1. We have I am knowledge, and I was saying how this is one of my favorite cards because it's just funny. Like I'm not knowledgeable, I am knowledge. You are not knowledge, pile 2. Can we clarify the Page of Wands, please, Spirit? We have I am divinely guided. And on the back of the deck, I am wild and free. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, pile 2, I just want to give you such a big hug. I'm sending you, okay, yeah, I knew this. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. All right, you go over there, sir. We're gonna move you up. There we go. That's better. All right. Okay. I just want to give you a big hug because I can just tell how much you've been through, and it has taken so much for you to not lose your spirit in the process. And there may have been times where you felt disconnected from it, and even still to this day, I think that there are parts of you that are waiting to be reclaimed by you. What I'm hearing specifically is that you might want to look into soul retrieval as a form of healing. There's meditations that you can do and things like that. But I definitely think, actually, and if you've been called to look into some sort of shamanic healing, that might be really good for you as well, because shamanic healing deals with retrieving parts of your soul that you've lost through soul loss, because soul loss essentially happens when you experience some sort of trauma, and there is a part of you that essentially leaves your energy because it doesn't feel safe to be grounded in your 3D reality with the rest of you. And through shamanic healing, you can the practitioner can help you reclaim those parts of your soul. But also, it's very powerful to just even set the intention that you are calling back and reclaiming all parts of yourself. Because one thing that you do not see about yourself, pile 2, and this makes me very sad, is just how wonderful you are. And I was hearing Young, Wild, and Free in my head, and it's kind of funny that that came out on the back of the deck because I wasn't even looking at that. But I really think that your wild nature is definitely something that I think was shamed and treated as something bad about you. I don't know if you grew up in a really restrictive household, or if you grew up in an environment that just didn't understand you, or maybe tried to suppress your true nature. What I can definitely tell is that you don't see that you're not meant to stay in a state of survival mode forever. And for some of you, you may be already coming out of survival mode, but for others, you could very well be in survival mode, even if you know realistically, like logically, you know you're safe, you know you're not in those environments anymore. It definitely seems like, one, you need to recognize and see that whatever you've been through clearly has done a number on you, and you deserve to have compassion for that. It doesn't matter what specifically happened to you. Like, the biggest thing about trauma is that it's not about what happened. It's about how the person felt and how the person was traumatized from what happened. You know, it could be something small or it could be something major. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is how the person reacted to it and experienced it. And I feel like one thing that you do is you really invalidate what you've gone through. And I feel like you put tons of pressure on yourself to pretend like you're fine and pretend like nothing's wrong with you. And here's the thing, there is nothing like inherently wrong with you. And I think you may feel that way because of your past experiences that, you know, made you feel like you weren't enough, or that made you feel bad about yourself. But I feel like what you need to see is that you're so much more than you think you are. And you're playing it so small. And the thing is you're not meant to beat yourself up about that, because the reason you're playing small is because of your past experiences that made you feel like you had to be small in order to be safe. But I feel like you're out of that environment, or whatever experiences that you had that led you to believe that. I feel like you are out of that environment, but your consciousness isn't necessarily. It seems like coping mechanisms, adaptive coping mechanisms that you use to survive, especially like in childhood, adolescence, and teenagerdom, they served you in that time period, but it seems like you're ready to let go of a lot of those coping mechanisms, because rather than being adaptive, they're now maladaptive, and they may actually be holding you back rather than helping you move forward. And the biggest thing I think you need to see about yourself is that you have been through some SHIT And you deserve to have compassion and patience with yourself. I feel like you are very unfair to yourself in the sense that you expect yourself to just get over things or just be able to function normally without acknowledging and without addressing the parts of you that are still healing. Because the thing is like, I hope when I was saying earlier, like, there's nothing wrong with you. I think you may think that there are things wrong with you, but there is nothing wrong with you. You are you. And you are a version of you right now that is still healing from some really intense experiences, and that's okay. I really want to start with this 9 of Wands because the thing is that you are a fighter and you are a warrior, and that is beautiful. But I feel like one thing you don't see is when you need to give yourself a break and when you need to be just more gentle with yourself. I feel like there are parts of you that are still just needing patience and healing, and I feel like you're not giving yourself the room and the space to do that. So the first thing that you need to see is that you deserve far more compassion and kindness than you're extending to yourself right now. But let's circle back to this 8 of Swords, because the 8 of Swords is all about being trapped in your mind, but you're not truly. It's an illusion and something that you can get out of yourself. And the thing is here that you're meant to see about yourself is that the way that your brain is operating right now is not serving the person that you're trying to become. And the more you try to just quote unquote figure it out or pretend like that doesn't exist or pretend like you're fine, the more parts of yourself are going to be going unacknowledged, and the more you're going to feel like you're doing something wrong, and you're not doing anything wrong. The thing that may be helpful though is if you are really struggling to get a grip on your mental health, or if you're really just struggling with your mental health in general, I would highly, highly, highly recommend seeking help in whatever form you are comfortable with or is possible for you. Because the reality of your situation that you're meant to see about yourself is that your story is not meant to stop at just what happened to you. It may be part of your story, but I think as you heal, you're going to rewrite the narrative of your life and how you perceive the things that happen to you. And how you rewrite it is up to you. It will be based on your experiences. But one thing I don't think you're seeing is the fact that you don't have the full picture of yourself or your life in general. And that's normal and okay. That's life. We don't necessarily see ourselves accurately. We don't necessarily know where we're going. But the biggest thing that you need to know and see about yourself is that you are safe, and you deserve to feel safe within your own body and within your own mind. And the thing that I think we're all really struggling with as a collective right now is not letting our minds run amok. You know, we are conditioned to live in our minds and conditioned to operate from our minds. And while our minds serve a purpose, they work the best when they are serving our heart space. And the biggest thing that I think you are meant to heal in this time is your heart space and just your energy in general. The fact that we have I'm a healer, one thing that you need to see about yourself is that your own ability to heal yourself is very powerful. And you don't necessarily seeking external resources for healing are wonderful, and you should totally do that. But also don't write off your own ability to heal yourself. And you might be wondering how that happens. Some of it happens naturally, just through time. You know, sleep. Sleep is one of the most healing and restorative things our body does, and we don't have to do anything other than lose our consciousness and close our eyes. And there are many ways that you can take on healing for yourself. One I would highly recommend is getting attuned to Reiki, because then you can do Reiki on yourself, and that's a wonderful way to heal your energy and also tune into yourself and be more aware of what's going on inside of you. But I really feel like whatever trauma you've experienced in your past, it has made you feel like you can't even be safe in your own body. And what you need to see is that you don't deserve to beat yourself up for that, but you do deserve to do what it takes to reclaim ownership of your body and your mind and your heart and your soul, because it is yours and it is not anyone else's. And I feel like you just may be massively underestimating your own power, your own ability to heal yourself, your own ability to take up space and claim yourself. And I feel like one of the biggest things you need to know is that when your brain is running amok, it is not trying to antagonize you, but it is just a natural consequence of going through traumatic things. You know, when we haven't resolved things, when we haven't, you know, hit the root of something, the brain continues to play it over and over, whether we in overt ways or in covert ways. And it sucks, like, and it's exhausting. And I feel like one thing you need to see is that the idea of quote unquote healing, or just the idea of living your life from a perspective different than the one you have now, you may feel like is impossible. And that's the first thing you need to see, is that that is never impossible. That any wound can be healed, and it may take time, and it may not be fully healed in this lifetime. There's no such thing as being fully healed. So actually, yeah, one thing you need to see is that the concept of being quote unquote fully healed is an illusion, and you can be whole and still have wounds. Our wounds are part of us, just like our strengths and just like anything else about us. And the thing is that you don't need to shame yourself for them or pretend like they don't exist. In fact, by acknowledging them and recognizing how they manifest within you and how they shape your behavior, those can be really empowering ways. Like, having that awareness can empower you to make changes that not only help you feel safe in your body, in your environment, in your own mind, but also make positive changes that become long-lasting, because you're making them from a place of compassion and awareness for your own needs. The next thing you need to see about yourself is that you are a motherfucking badass. I'm saying that really quietly because I'm trying to not get demonetized. But you are so strong, and that is not something that's necessarily always... It sucks that we have to be strong, and it sucks that the human experience is one with suffering, but it is an egoic delusion that we exist in life with zero pain and no suffering. No human leaves this earth unscathed. And one thing that you do need to know is that you are so much stronger than you think. And that's the thing, is you think you're not strong. But a simple shift in perspective can change the game for you. The fact that we have I can change my thoughts, that is so big, because I think one of the hardest things about, you know, struggling with your mental health is, like, when I think back to when I was like really deep in my mental health issues, which I struggled with like major depression and things like that for years, like over a decade. So I know how hard it is to shift that mindset, and how painful it can be when other people are spouting positivity or things like that. Like, positivity can be absolutely painful when you're stuck in a negative mindset. And the thing is that being stuck in a negative mindset is not something to feel ashamed about. We live in a culture of negativity, and that's what's normal. It's actually pretty contrarian to look at things from a positive perspective. But it may have been such a long time since you have felt safe in your body or have felt safe in your mind that you may have forgotten that it's even possible for you to feel any different other than unsafe and anxious. And the fact of the matter is that you are so strong for being able to like continue existing, carrying this much pain. And what you need to know is that what you need to see is that you don't deserve to carry that pain, not by yourself, and not under the belief that it can never be resolved or that you have to carry it forever. Doesn't mean it will be relieved immediately. But for example, I didn't really start like depression, for example, is something that I still struggle with sometimes. You know, it's not something that like just disappears forever. But making the decision to say, I'm going to do the best that I can to care for myself and be there for myself and be determined to find solutions to this problem and support myself and like care for myself and recognize that this doesn't have to be like my everyday, like that was a game changer for me. And sometimes just the realization that we can change, that we don't have to be attached to our suffering. One thing you might need to ask yourself is if you have created an identity around your pain or around what you've gone through. That's very normal and very common, but by creating an identity around that, you are robbing yourself the opportunity to discover who you are as you address, heal, and grow through what you've been through. Because one thing is, it is absolutely okay to grieve the version of who you were before you experienced those painful things. Obviously, we can't change what happened in the past, and you know that, I know that. But one thing that you need to see is that your pain and what has happened to you is not something that makes you flawed or weak. It is a part of your experience. And while I don't really think anyone should like embrace the horrible things that have happened to them, you can embrace the person you become and the wisdom that you gain and the strength that you have to move forward, and add that to the repertoire of amazing, incredible things about you. Because another unfortunate reality is that there are many people in the world that are going through the same things as you. And we need people like you in the world that have walked through the valley of the shadow of death and come back and survived it. Because you may have to walk through that valley again someday. And the thing is that, like I said a little bit ago, you know, I definitely don't deal with mental health issues the way I did, like, for the vast majority of my life, but that's because I have done a lot of healing work and I have found tools and solutions to grow and heal and to, you know, help myself when I am in a dark space, when I am having a hard time. Doesn't mean they always work. Sometimes I just feel like crap and I have to just go to bed or write it out, and that's okay. And that's the thing, is you may not always be able to change how you feel or what's going on, but the worst, most horrible thing you can do to yourself in that process is invalidate yourself, shame yourself, you know, beat yourself up for feeling like you're regressing. You know, one of the biggest illusions is this idea that, you know, we start healing and then we never feel pain again, or old wounds never resurface. We can heal something and it can come back up again for healing, you know? I really think what you're meant to see is that there's no right or wrong way to heal. There's no right or wrong way to see yourself, but there are more productive ways of seeing things and less productive ways of seeing things. And less productive ways would be things like, you know, believing that you can't ever get better, or that you deserve to suffer, or that, you know, what happened to you is something that you deserved, because you never ever deserve traumatic things happening to you. Nobody does. And it is just an unfortunate aspect of where the human collective is at right now. But we need people like you to be the example, well, only if you want to be, that is able to say, you know, I have been through these things and I've come out on the other side. And like I said, it's not like you would wish this on anyone or wish those experiences, but they happened. And your strength comes from, one, your ability to move through that, and two, your ability to grow anyway, and to evolve anyway, and to integrate those experiences and use them as opportunities to gain wisdom, to empower yourself, and to be the person that other people need, you know, whether that's through sharing your experiences or following going down a path that helps people that were in your situation. You are such a strong person, and I'm so sorry you've had to be so strong and have had to carry so much. But what you need to know is that you deserve to be able to take up space in your environment and in your body and in your mind, and feel your strength and show the world who you truly are, because you have such a beautiful light and you have so much power and so much to share with the world. And you're a fighter, and you're just so incredible, Pile 2. And one thing I really need you to know is that I don't think you'll ever fully see how incredible you truly are, but I pray that you do. I pray that you see how special and important you are, and how important your story is, and how important it is that you recognize that your story is being written every single day, and that you can rewrite any element of your past and change the narrative to one that feels right in your heart, or that is more aligned with your future or current perspectives. Sometimes we can create more pain for ourselves by reliving a past story that brings us pain. And one thing that I found is that, when we have painful experiences, if we haven't reached a point of resolution, then maybe the story's not over yet. Now, I'm not saying that every painful experience does have a satisfying resolution. Not all of them do, and that's okay. But I think that this is just a lot about recognizing where maybe you are limiting yourself and disempowering yourself because of beliefs you have about what you can and can't achieve, or what you can or can't heal, or who you are or aren't. And I would take a good hard look at where you may be placing pain within your own identity and ask yourself if that's helping you or hurting you. Moving forward to the 9 of Wands and I am knowledge. One thing you also need to see about yourself, which I kind of already started this with like the beginning, because those are the 2 cards that I came to immediately, is one, there's a lot of wisdom that you've already gained through your experiences, and that wisdom, do what you want with it, but I think a lot of people could benefit from it being shared. But also, I think you're on the cusp of some sort of big breakthrough or discovery or change. Like, this could be a career path or something that you're meant to study. But with the 9 of Wands, I feel like you're really just being encouraged to not give up on yourself, and not give up on your dreams, not give up on your desires, and not let your painful past experiences be the reason as to why you can't achieve something, why you can't flip the script, why you can't be more than what you think you are now. I can tell you're exhausted, and I almost like feel exhausted like channeling this, but don't feel bad. Like, I'm fine. I feel so bad when I say stuff like that, and then you guys like are like, I'm so sorry, but don't apologize. I'm okay. I'm sorry that you're going through this. I'm sorry that you feel that. Like, I'm sorry that people and the world have made you believe that you're worthy of anything less than love and kindness and support and compassion. And one thing that you need to see about yourself is that you have gotten a degree in the School of Hard Knocks, and that's not something to be ashamed of. That's something to wear as a badge of honor, or, if you don't want to, that's also okay as well. You're entitled to feel however you want about your life experiences. But I think what Spirit is asking you to see is that when you are telling yourself those stories, or talking about yourself, or reflecting on yourself, are those stories helping you become the person you want to be, or are they holding you back and making you feel like you can't be who you wanted to be as a child, or who you dreamed of being, or who you still dream of being? Because let's move on to this Page of Wands. You are intimately connected to Spirit. There's a lot of fire here, and the thing is that you have a fire that cannot be put out. Trust me, people have tried, and I know you know it. But they failed. They flopped so hard. They could not get rid of your light and your beautiful fire. They're floppy McFloppertons, and they flopped so hard and they failed because your fire is just too strong. You are like Sozin's comet. You are so powerful. And the thing that you need to know is that your inner child has so much wisdom for you, and also has answers that you're looking for. I feel like you've been asking Spirit, like, one, you may be like just wondering like where you're meant to head and what this is all for, and why are you here and what are you meant to be doing, and who you were as a child, that version of you that you grieve, it's still in there. You're meant to integrate it with the grown version of you, with the version of you that has dealt with more life, that has weathered painful experiences and has a more complex view of the world, because the world is complex and the world is messy and the world is but you are a gift and a blessing to this world. And that inner light that you've had even as a child, it's still there within you, and I know you know that. You may forget that sometimes, but it's always there. And when you feel lost and you don't know where you're going, look to that inner child. Now, it doesn't mean like play with Play-Doh, which like if you want to play with Play-Doh, fucking do it. But if you're, what did your inner child dream about doing? What did your inner child want to be when they grew up? What was your inner child inspired by? What did your inner child enjoy? What made your inner child feel most loved? Anything, well, I say inner child, but really it's your childhood self, right? There's so many answers there for you. And not only that, you have the right to never grow up. And I think that, like, well, obviously, like Peter Pan syndrome, we don't that may not be healthy, but I feel like you may be feeling like part of you is missing, and I think it's that childlike part of yourself. That might be the part of yourself that you're needing to reintegrate. And I feel like for some of you, you may have a hard time remembering your childhood or remembering certain things. So actually, like, Play-Doh is a good example, because Play-Doh has a very distinct smell. If there were like any strong smells connected to your childhood, those might help like jog your memories. Like, for example, I smell certain erasers and I go like right back to second grade, like first day of second grade. I smell those. They're like the little topper erasers. I don't know why, it just is. But like music that you listened to growing up, or anything that connects you to that point in time, might help you connect to that part of yourself. And honestly, you don't necessarily need to remember them. You can even just ask for your inner child to show you what it needs, to show you where you're meant to head, or what would be fulfilling for you to pursue or explore. Now, the challenge for you is, when you ask, you have to listen for a response. And that's hard to do when you're stuck in your thoughts, or stuck in your head, or dealing with anxiety. Intuition screams, fuck, I always say this wrong. Anxiety screams, intuition whispers. I don't know why I say that. Your intuition, I feel like your intuition is trying to scream at you. I feel like there may be certain things where your intuition is literally screaming at you, because you may be almost like ignoring it or invalidating it. But ultimately, one thing that you need to know is that even when you feel like you're not connected to your higher self, even when you feel like you're not connected to the universe, that is a distortion within your own mind. And that is kind of a good example of how anxiety screams, right? But what you need to know is that even when you feel disconnected from that, that's okay. But you're not truly, and you're not failing, or you're not behind, or off schedule, or flopping because you feel disconnected, or because you feel scared, or because you don't feel safe, or because you're really struggling. That's okay. That's part of the human experience, baby. Life is painful, but we ride anyway. And one thing that you need to know is that the universe has your back every step of the way. And I think one thing that you need to see is that the version of you that you're meant to become is one that embraces your chaos, one that embraces this wild, free nature, this Aquarius energy. Which, speaking of signs, I will just list those off really quickly for confirmation. Obviously, if you're here long enough and this is resonating, this is the reading for you. But just for some extra confirmation in terms of signs that we have, Leo with the Strength card, we have lots of fire, Aries, Leo, Sag. Cancer with I am safe, Sagittarius with I am knowledge, and Aquarius with I am wild and free. And so the biggest thing that you need to see about yourself is that you are holding back so much. Like, you are holding your true self back. You are holding your gifts back. You are holding you back from the world. And it's time to share more of yourself and let go and embrace feeling safe in your body, or, well, I guess, well, yeah, embrace that. But also, you know, start doing the work to do that if you're not already. Be patient with that process because it takes time, and also there will be times where you feel more connected and more safe and less, and that's okay. There are fluctuations. Healing is not linear. Growth is not linear, all right? Everything goes through cycles. Everything has fluctuations, and the best thing that you can do is flow with what is and observe from a place of compassion and stop yourself from placing judgments or meanings on what is going on, because I feel like you're the most wisdom and understanding you will come from the reflections that you have in hindsight. And actually, one thing that I'm hearing as well is that journaling, especially when you are going through a more challenging time or a more challenging phase, I think could be really helpful for you, because I think that you massively underestimate how much you carry and how much you hold on to. And it's because you're holding it all within that you don't see how much it's draining you. And seeing it on paper could really help you be more compassionate towards yourself, because you might be like, I just need to get over it. I just need to do this. I just need to do that. And that's so mean to yourself. You're being such a dick to yourself when you do that. If you saw on paper what you were carrying internally, you would be like, oh my God, I can't believe I've been pushing myself this hard. I can't believe I've been such a dick to myself. So one thing you need to see is that you're being a dick to yourself and you stop, okay? Because it's going to be hard to feel safe in your own body if you're not even, and feel safe in who you are if you're not even nice to yourself, you know? You got to deal with the inner bully, the inner critic. Because, man, if that's left unchecked, it can run away with you. Even, like, I only use personal examples because I want you to know I'm not coming from a place of, like, if you're depressed, just stop. Just, like, don't. Just be happy. Like, no, like, I empathize. This shit is not, like, that cut and dry. It's not that simple. And I think we have this expectation, especially within the spiritual community. Well, some people do. And a lot of us buy into this idea, and then we realize that's not the case, is that, like, oh, we reached this point where we're just healed and then everything's better and then we can move forward. Nah, healing is messy. Awareness is messy. Growth is not linear. And life is chaotic and we're not in control. And sometimes we can be doing well and then all of a sudden we just feel like crap and we don't even know why. It just happens. The best thing that we can do is meet ourselves with where we're at, be compassionate, and support ourselves. Because if we don't support ourselves, who the hell is? But with that being said, if you could set one goal for yourself, I think it is to be wild and free and to embrace letting go and releasing, because I think there's a lot you've been holding on to without realizing that you can let go of it. It may take time. It may be a process, but it's worth it. I promise you. I promise you. The challenge and the pain that comes with healing is so much better than being stuck in the mud and stuck in the grime. It's so much better. And the thing is that we often don't see that until we're in a place of clarity and we can reflect. The world needs you, Pile 2, and any way in your heart that you feel called to serve or share more of yourself, please start exploring that. And please look at what you can let go of in terms of, like, what's been in your energy or in your mind that's cluttering it up and not serving you. And that doesn't even have to be like trauma stuff. Like obviously that stuff takes time to let go, but like, you know, if you're just like worried about, for example, you know, what someone thinks of you, or what you're gonna get for breakfast tomorrow and you're stressing out about it, worry about that tomorrow at breakfast time. Like really just ask yourself, what is percolating in your brain that doesn't need to be there? What's percolating in your energy that's really just taking up space? And also, what physical objects in your environment are that may be attached to negative periods in your life that would be beneficial to let go of? I would really look at, especially if they're attached to people that are no longer in your life, that maybe you have traumatic experiences attached to, definitely get rid of that stuff. You do not need to have it in your space. And I think actually a lot of the small changes are gonna make a huge difference. And I think one thing that you need to see is that any work that you do to be there for yourself and to support yourself is gonna be worth it. And the more you do that, the more you're gonna realize that you are worth it. You are worth the world. You are worth everything. You are so valuable and so precious. And an unfortunate reality is that there's a lot of pain and a lot of suffering, and we just spread it around, and you know, we hurt each other. And the worst part is that, you know, as kids, we come into this world so bright and beautiful, and as we grow, we just, you know, we all come in innocent and pure. But the reality, the truth of things is that we're always pure. It is an illusion that we ever become impure. Purity lies within your heart and in your soul, and you can always claim that purity for yourself. Any definition of purity that is not based on what's in your heart is not a genuine definition of what purity is. Purity comes from the heart, and it is something heart and soul deep. And that purity is something that nobody can take away from you. And it's something that you deserve to embrace within yourself and recognize that nobody can tell you who you are. Nobody can take your power away from you unless you let them. And I think more than anything, you're gonna realize how powerful you feel when you just let go of the need to hold back from life and let go of the need to hold on for dear life. I really, really think that this next phase of your life is about having more fun, enjoying yourself more, and not putting so much pressure on yourself to have it all figured out, or to be let go of the idea of being quote unquote completely healed. Because man, we could do all the healing we want, but as long as we're incarnated in these human bodies, life's gonna keep happening, and something's gonna happen that we're gonna have to deal with, right? Life happens in cycles, and life doesn't stop moving. You deserve to enjoy and embrace your life in any way you can. And I think one thing you need to see is that you are worth the work it takes to be at peace, to feel safe in your body, to make a mark in this world in a way that's meaningful to you. Oh, I want to cry. And it's okay to cry. If you're crying, that is okay. Embrace it. That is a sign that healing is happening. Crying is like an orgasm for the soul. I'm telling you. It's so healing. And that's the thing, is it's so important that when you do feel emotion, you express it, because that is one way of letting go. That's one way of releasing. So if you're crying or experiencing that, there's nothing wrong. You're doing something right. And you might find as you go through this healing process and this healing journey that you do randomly feel emotions, that you do randomly cry. That's okay. That's literally just your body releasing pent-up energy, things that you've been holding on to. And I think if you feel really heavy and you feel like you just can't move forward and like you're held down, it might be because you're holding on to a lot of things mentally, emotionally, energetically, that are making it challenging to make any sort of moves in the physical world. That was me. I was so paralyzed by the weight of what I was carrying and my own pain that for a very, very, very long time. And it's so hard. And I don't want you to think that this this just like healing happens or this shift happens overnight. Like I said, I still deal with this stuff, not all the time, and it's much less frequent. But when it does happen, the beauty of all this healing work is that now I have a safety net of support, not only within myself, but outside of myself. And now that I have more awareness and understanding of myself and of my needs and how I can support myself, it makes those hard times less challenging, because it's like, rather than being thrown into the ocean with nothing, this time you've got a lifeboat or, you know, a buoy or a life raft or some shit to make it a little bit easier. You know what I mean? So the biggest thing you need to see about yourself is that you deserve so much more than you're giving yourself credit for, and that you're so much more powerful and have so much to offer this world, and you deserve more than anything to heal for yourself and to reach a point where you can just embrace those small moments in life where you can let your hair down or just have fun. I'm hearing Life is a Highway right now by Rascal Flatts, and that's a vibe. And yeah, I want so badly for you, Pile 2, to be able to just sit by a river and feel so grateful to just be there and be at peace in yourself and in your mind and in your reality, and just do what makes you feel like yourself and do what makes you feel good and just have fun and be your wild, weird, crazy self, because the world needs more of that. It needs so much more of that. And the more you embrace that, the more you will feel in alignment with your highest self, because your highest self is wild and free, completely untamed, and just unabashedly themselves. And that's what you deserve to be. And what you're not seeing is that you are holding yourself back from that. And you shouldn't blame yourself or beat yourself up for that. But what you're not seeing is that not only are you capable of flipping the script and having more for yourself, you deserve to want more for yourself, and you deserve to have more for yourself. And that starts with letting go with what is, so that you can make room for what will be. And, you know, we can't change the past, but the present is creating our future. And the more you can fully embody and embrace the present, the closer you get to the life of your dreams. And the thing is that I think the life of our dreams too is kind of a weird abstract concept. I think that we can make the present day the life of our dreams always, if we're just doing our best to find moments of joy, find moments of peace, find moments of clarity when we can, because obviously we have responsibilities and we have things we can't control, but nobody can take your wild spirit away from you. Ooh, you should watch the movie Spirit. I haven't seen that movie in so long, like probably 20 years, but I still love that movie when I was a kid. I don't remember it at all, but that movie, you are so spirit coded. That horse, you are like, if you haven't seen that movie, you need to see that movie. You are like Spirit the horse. And I literally do not remember what is in that story. Obviously, there's a lot in terms of horses, like, you know, in horse movies, like, they're not free and they need to be free. They're caged in, you know? And I feel like you're caged in and you deserve to be free and run in pastures and grow and neigh and stuff like that. I don't know where I'm going with this. Point being is, you are a fucking badass, Pile 2, and you deserve to fully embrace your badass self and feel safe in your body again and share your gifts with the world and share who you truly are, because life is already hard enough. You don't deserve to continue holding on to your past pain and believing that that's who you are and that's all you will be, because you're so much more than that. And your pain is a part of your story, but it's not all of the story. There's so much more to be written, and you have so much to give to this world and so much to receive from this world, and you can't receive unless you're open to it. So please, I promise you, you're worth it. And any help that you need, don't be afraid to ask for it, because you deserve it and you're worth it. So speaking of help, we're gonna get some guidance now, so I don't start sobbing like a little baby. I haven't used these affirmator cards in a long time, and I love them. If you ever want to get cards that are just like have down-to-earth practical advice, these guys are wonderful. So we have one that's like just generic, and then we have one for your work life, relationships, family, and creativity. So let's see what they have to say to you. We have vitality. I am healthy, vital, and strong. My radiant love of life fills me with healthy, vital, and strong cells. Each cell is a warrior. I told you you're a warrior. Everyone has its own sword and shield. I dare you to try and penetrate my cellular army. Didn't think so, chump. This is you. This is what the more healed version of you looks like. And if you're not there yet, that's what you're working towards. You are meant to feel this vitality and just come at life with this beautiful strength that you have. And like, you are just such a force to be reckoned with, pile 2. And like, honestly, the world is unprepared for the magnitude of your greatness. I'm just so excited for you to see it for yourself. And it might take you just taking risks and putting yourself out there and doing things that make you feel scared in order for you to realize it. But if there's any goal to work towards, it's this vitality. And if you're not feeling it, that's the goal you should be working towards. I feel like I said that over and over 5 times, but I'm flawed in doing my best. We also have tenacity. If at first you don't succeed, try to remember there's an old tired saying about this for a reason. Everyone fails sometimes, but failure is only failure if it happens on the very last page of your story. What the fuck? Oh my, yes! I love when I get validated like this. I feel so seen. Okay, I feel better about what I'm channeling. Okay. And since you're still breathing, that's not where you're at right now. So if you've hit an obstacle on your way to success, don't sweat it. Dust off your air quotes and hang them on that failure as a reminder that failures are a part of success and that all this is part of your lifelong job. Then get right back to it. Your next failure is waiting to bring you closer to your dreams. Ugh. I love when spirit backs me up. We also have boundless love. Today, I'll open my eyes a little wider and walk a little taller, noticing that the world around me is filled with tiny miracles. With this in mind, it is easy to fall in love over and over again with everything from honeybees to neon signs. And while I'm feeling this inspired and this in love, everything else sort of falls into place. Yes, yes, you are a miracle magnet. That's something that we affirm for pile 1, and I think you need to affirm it as well. You are a miracle magnet. Say it, write it down, remind yourself of it, tattoo it, whatever you want to do. But feel it, believe it. Reliability. I am the model of perfect reliability. Well, as close as perfect as a perfectly fallible human can get. When I say I'll do something, I'll do it. That means my family members can trust me and believe me. And you know what? It's nice to be believed in, even when that belief extends only to picking up stray socks and making beds. And I think that's the thing too, is that you may not trust yourself because maybe you don't follow through on the things you tell yourself you're going to do. And maybe one way to cultivate more trust in yourself is by following through on the promises that you make to yourself and on the goals that you set for yourself. And even if you don't reach that goal, instead of believing that that goal was never meant for you or that you could never achieve it, having the tenacity to recognize that what may be a setback is actually a redirection towards your goal or the wisdom you need in order to actually achieve that goal. Believe in yourself. And we also have take a walk. Yoo-hoo! If you've drawn this card, your muses are gently and sweetly screaming at you to put down whatever it is you're working on. That's right, it's okay to set down and slowly back away and get yourself outside for a stroll. Even me, I get it if you leave. We've got, although I will say I'm almost done, we've got to get you a postcard from Spirit. So I understand if you want to take a pause or go now, feel free to do it, but I will say we're almost done. So you stick around and then you go for a walk. Meow, I lost my place. Wandering legs produce a wandering mind, which as it turns out can actually be great for wandering out of whatever mental mud you're stuck in. So put on your jauntiest cap and jauntily jaunt the heck out of here. Could be that the tiny creative spark you've been missing has been hiding out on the other side of your wall of bulletin boards. Yeah, so definitely too, one of the best ways to relieve mental energy is through like physical activity. So yeah, even just, you know, taking silly little mental health walks, so good. So we are going to finish this reading off by getting a postcard from Spirit, your spirit guides. I kind of just set the intention, like any unconditionally loving energy that you would like to receive this message from, just set the intention that it's coming from there. Whether it's a passed on loved one, whether it's, you know, God itself, your angels, spirit guides, cinnamon masters, Jesus, Buddha, whatever you want. So Spirit, what message do you have for pile 2? Yeehaw. Ooh, okay, we have a hummingbird. So a hummingbird could be a significant sign for you. Dearest you, we bet you must be so exhausted some days. Giving as much as you do, sharing your energy so beautifully in service to the highest good can leave you feeling depleted, like an empty well. If it feels as if there's no more water for you, the good news is we have a plan. Today, go take a relaxing bath. Book a massage, read a novel, buy yourself flowers, or plant some in your garden. Make time for self-care, not more work on yourself. Yes. By tending to yourself now, you are reminded to do so more often. And be sure to use a word that might have caused you anxiety in the past, but is essential for your well-being now. No. Say it with us. No, thank you. No, I can't. You do not have to explain. Just say no gently, but firmly. Then go for a soak. Life will wait for you to bring yourself back to center, replenished and ready for more adventure. We love you so very much. And yeah, I really don't think I could say it better for myself. Self-care, pile 2, you deserve it, and you're worth it. And you earned it. The weekend seems to be a plan in this pile, but pile 2, that is where I'm going to leave your reading. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background while you do something else, because I'm not a monster. I don't expect you to actually watch them, but like that is one of the simplest and easiest ways to help me and support my channel. So thank you to everyone who does that. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, like I listed earlier, you can like, comment, subscribe, click that little notification bell to be part of my notification squad. If you want me to see your comment, I usually first see comments when I first upload. You can also check out my candle line. I have a new candle, The Magician, just came out. But any candles on Angelic Magic 888's website, use code ASA10, you get 10% off. You can check out my merch and my social media. So, oh, and my other readings and extendeds. And that's it. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 3. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Rainbow Clear Quartz and the Blue Earth Tarot, then this is going to be a reading on what you don't see about yourself. So I'm going to start by shuffling your tarot, and then I will use an oracle deck I have to clarify. But while I'm shuffling, I did quickly want to thank everyone who takes the time to leave me a like or comment or subscribe, because even though that stuff is small, it helps me so much, and it also lets me know what you guys are enjoying, what you guys are resonating with, especially like liking the video. That gives me a good idea of what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. And yeah, just thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting me, and thank you so much for letting me read for you. So let's go ahead and see. Whoa, all right, we're coming out with a bang. All right, like let's see what are these? Okay, this is the World. And the Queen of Pentacles. Yeehaw. What else does pile 3 not see about themselves, Spirit? We have the Two of Cups. What else does pile? We have the Six of Pentacles. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Swords. Interesting. I'm very intrigued to see what the... that looks like sperm. Anyway, I'm very intrigued to see what the oracles will say. So I'm using the personal power oracle to clarify. I can't believe I said that out loud. I let the intrusive thoughts win too much. I really just be having no filter. Okay, Spirit, can you clarify the World, please? We have I release what does not serve me. We clarify the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, we got 2. Ooh, oh my gosh. Okay, this is so funny. This card has come out for every single pile so far. But we have I am knowledge and I am determined. So I'm gonna put these 2 lovely letters together. Can we clarify the 2 of Cups, please? Oh my God, okay. We have I am beautiful, I am happy, and I speak highly of myself. Wow, okay, beautiful. Well, they all need to be here, so I'm not gonna like be a hater and be like, you can only have 1. I guess we just got 3 for this. I guess we're just gonna like, okay. Can we clarify the 6 of Pentacles? We have I follow my heart. And on the back of the deck, we have I embrace change. Okay, let me make sure everything's in the frame. Okay, cool. Wow, okay. First of all, the fact that I just coughed, I feel like it's kind of significant because your cards are like the most blue out of all the blue cards. And I definitely think that there is some throat chakra healing that needs to occur, because I definitely feel like you're holding on to outdated beliefs about yourself and outdated ideas of like what you're worthy of. This is really interesting because I feel like this reading especially is centered around relationships. So you could either be, it doesn't matter whether you're in a relationship or like totally single. The core of this is about, well, not all of it, but a lot of it is about your ability to receive love and believe in your value and also recognize your worth. I feel like one thing that you need to see is that wherever you're at right now, you won't be there forever, but you could be in a process of like grieving. Maybe that's because for some of you, a relationship ended or you're going through some sort of difficult change. It doesn't even have to be related to relationships, and it doesn't have to be related to romantic relationships, but the world is all about a completion of a cycle. And the fact that it's clarified by I release what doesn't serve me, it seems like you've gone through some sort of big change or big shift or some sort of like, you're ending a chapter. You've either already ended a chapter in your life or you're ending a chapter in your life. Could be because you're graduating, you're moving, or you've just had a shift in perspective and realized you want to move in a different direction. And I think one thing you need to see about yourself is that you do not have to stay in a place that you don't want to be anymore. So if you're really in, which, I mean, the fact that we have I embrace change on the back of the deck, I really do think, and it's interesting because on her back there's like snake skin. So I really do think you're in a process of shedding old skin and shedding old identities that maybe you held on to and shedding ideas of who you thought you were and the beliefs you had about yourself. Because I definitely think one thing is for sure, you definitely don't see your own value and you definitely don't recognize how lovable you truly are. And I think one thing that's getting in the way of that is holding on to experiences that affirmed your insecurities about your worth and about your value as a person. The fact that we have the World card here as well, I think one thing that you don't see is that you have so many more lovers than haters. Like, which I feel weird even like calling them haters, which sure, maybe you do, but I feel like you assume that people don't like you when actually it's the opposite. I think you're actually a really likable person, and a lot of people really enjoy being around you and really enjoy your energy. But I don't know if you necessarily realize that, because whenever you are in the company of someone else, you may be too busy thinking about, well, for example, you might struggle with something like social anxiety, so you might be thinking about, you know, monitoring yourself, hoping you don't say something dumb or stupid, which, first of all, I literally started this reading with being like, that looks like sperm. Like, you can say dumb things all the time. Like, I do, and I'm still here. But it's about also, like, I feel like as well, you maybe care so much about what the world thinks that you are robbing yourself of the opportunity to live authentically and live in your truth. And maybe that's something you're aware of and changing. But I think one thing you don't see is how little weight you put you put into your own opinion of yourself. And you may think that you have a higher opinion of yourself, but I feel like it's a subconscious thing. Like, you might tell yourself affirmations and you might recognize that you're worthy of love and you deserve better and that you're incredible, because you are. All those things are true. But I feel like you, like, subconsciously, you don't necessarily believe what you're telling yourself. And I think that part of the reason why that is because you may still be holding on to experiences that really shook your confidence, where you may have been judged by the world or judged by... I'm seeing specifically, I hope that this, I'm sure this didn't happen to you, but I'm seeing specifically that scene from Step Brothers, where Brennan is singing at his school talent show and the crowd is saying something very not okay. And that was instigated by his sibling. So it could be even that you're like struggling with family rifts or, you know, wounds from growing up in a family where maybe you were bullied by a sibling or a parent, or by people you went to school with, or by the adults you were learning from or being coached by, whatever it may be. I definitely think that there are experiences from your past in your formative years that really shook your confidence and made you feel bad about yourself and made you feel like you weren't good enough, or you couldn't be who you were, or that you didn't deserve better for yourself. And I feel like what you need to see about yourself is that those experiences do not need to be part of your narrative any longer, other than, yeah, they were wrong. And I know that. And you should know that too, because they were wrong. And the sad truth is that adults are just, a lot of them are children in big bodies. They never grew up, they never matured, and they have tons of wounds that they take out on children because they do not recognize the fact that they are not children anymore. Mentally and emotionally, they are still children. And they're children in a position of power, so then they can bully actual children and get away with it. It's really sick and gross, but it's a reality, and it's really sad. But the beautiful thing is that, you know, our generation, and, well, really not just any generation, people in general are healing and growing, and you're one of them, and you are waking up to your value and your worth. And the beautiful thing is that you won't do what other people did to you. And it's sad that it happened to you, but at least you can break the cycle. And one thing you need to see about yourself is that you are not the same person that you were 5 years ago. You're not the same person that you were 2 minutes ago. You're constantly changing, and you can always rewrite the narrative, and you can always let go of what's not serving you. The minute a doubt or insecurity comes up within you, you can say, no, that doesn't serve me, and replace it with an affirmation. So, like, for example, let's say you're in school and you're writing a paper and you're feeling really overwhelmed by it, and you think back to a class in your past where a teacher told you that what you wrote wasn't good enough, or what you made wasn't good enough, or that you couldn't succeed in this area. And so then you take it on and you say, oh, they were right, or I knew I couldn't do this, or like, whatever I make, it's not going to be good enough. Like, any of that stuff, instead recognize that for what it is and say, whoa, that's not serving me. And instead say, I can do anything I can set my mind to, or I am overwhelmed by this challenge, but I will be calm and patient with myself as I face it. And I will not be afraid to ask for help if I need it. And I will release anything I'm telling myself that is not supporting me in my goals. I don't know, random example. But point being, what you don't see is that you are ready to evolve out of certain limiting beliefs you have about yourself, because they are not serving you in the slightest. If anything, they're just holding you back and making you feel disempowered, and honestly deluding you and making you think that you are less than stellar, which you are. You're incredible and wonderful and so lovable. And the thing is too, is that even if you are with a partner that you're really happy with, it can be really hard sometimes when you're dealing with your own insecurities to feel like, worthy of them, or you might be worried. And if you're single and really wanting a loving connection, you may be feeling like that will never happen for you, or you may be worried that the right person isn't out there for you, or that won't happen. And like, that is all shit that you need to release because it doesn't serve you. So going into the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like one thing you need to see about yourself is that you are growing into someone that is so stable and mature and grounded. And one thing that you need to see as well is that you have grown into a person that is desperately needed in this world. Someone that's reliable, someone that's dependable, and someone that other people can go to for solid advice, and someone that other people trust. Not only that, but you have the ability to create whatever you want in this reality. You not only have the drive to make it happen, but you have the wisdom and the resources as well. This is the Queen of Pentacles, right? I'm gonna feel so silly if it's not. Okay, it's kind of hard to like read it from over here. The writing is really small, but it's interesting. Maybe some of you are between 41 and 42, because I just think it's interesting that both of those numbers are together. But I feel like you just massively underestimate your worth. And the thing about the Queen of Pentacles is that she knows her worth. And she is just, she's peaceful, she's present, she's grounded, she's humble, but she's got the bag, and she's comfortable. And so if you're not there yet, know that you will be, and that you have everything that it takes to get there. And if you were hoping for messages about career, you might want to check out pile 1 if you were drawn to it. But if not, no worries. But I also think if you are thinking about, because the Queen of Pentacles also can be about like, or it can be like I say the Queen and King of Pentacles as like spouses. So if you are like wanting to be in a committed relationship, I think one thing that you need to know is that working on yourself and any investment in yourself is only going to lead to you being even more incredible than you already are. But also, one thing you need to know is about yourself is that you have qualities within you that are absolutely priceless, and being determined is one of them, and being such a hard worker is one of them. You know, that is something that helps you get to your goals. You know, success is 5% inspiration, 95% perspiration, or something like that. And one thing you need to know as well is that all of your experiences, the good ones and the bad ones, have led you to just having more wisdom and having a more complex and nuanced understanding of yourself and the world around you. And I think one of the sad things is that I feel like you can look at everyone except yourself and see the value in them and the wonderful qualities within them. And I feel like you just beat yourself up so hard, and you don't deserve that. It's not fair to you. And also, that's leaving you in a position where even if you are in a relationship with someone, you're not able to receive the love that they're giving you because you feel like you're not worthy of it, and either inherently, or you feel like you have to work in order to earn love, and that's not the reality. Love is given freely. It's not something you earn or deserve. And true loving connections are not determined by conditions or by what you bring to the table. You know, that's very like, I won't say what it is, but point being, with the Queen of Pentacles being there, I feel like you don't see your value, and you don't see how cherished you truly are, especially if you're a parent. If you're a parent, because also that was the other thing I was going to say, King and Queen of Pentacles are also, to me, like parent cards. Your offspring, I love The Offspring, such a good band. Your offspring admires you so much, and like, you're such a good parent. Like, you don't give yourself enough credit for like all the sacrifices that you make and how much you do for the people you care for. And you don't have to necessarily be like a traditional parent. Like, maybe you are the parent friend, or someone who's always there for your family or your friends or the people you're or the people around you that you love that are struggling, you know, maybe you're a caretaker or something like that. No matter what though, whatever your goals are, you're absolutely capable of achieving them. The only thing that gets in your way is yourself and your own doubt and your own insecurities. So I definitely think you're really being encouraged to look at how you do yourself dirty by just not believing in yourself and not trusting in your ability to make things happen and see through challenges. Not only that, but like, I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this. You just have no idea how high you can fly. And the fact that the way you perceive yourself might be limiting your opportunities because you are underestimating what you're capable of achieving and what opportunities could be available to you if you were just open to them or if you took them. Because that's the thing, opportunities happen, but if we don't jump on them, we don't get them. And if you constantly are asking yourself if you're worthy of something, you're going to miss out on anything that's meant for you. That's not cool. You deserve to have things that are meant for you. Speaking of things that are meant for you, Two of Cups. If you are in a relationship that you are happy with, but you're feeling a lot of insecurities or just feeling like afraid that they're gonna like wake up and realize that you're not great, or they're gonna realize that, like, first of all, you know, relationships are never a guarantee, you know, but I don't believe in the idea that any relationship is ever wasted. We learn so much about ourselves through our relationships, and I feel like if you've been thinking about your past relationships and maybe how you were treated poorly, those experiences were meant to show you what you don't deserve and what's not for you. And the truth of the matter is that if you are with someone in a happy relationship and they love you, you are hurting your partner by not seeing your value, and you are hurting them by not receiving their love in the way that they wish to give it to you. And that is something that can hinder your relationship, you know? Confidence is sexy, and when it comes to the Two of Cups, that's all about a mutually fulfilling connection where two hearts, you know, share openly and with joy, and it's mutually reciprocal. And, you know, if you see the world in your partner, why wouldn't your partner see the world in you as well? It's supposed to be mutual, and it is mutual. It's only your own insecurities that are making you think it's not. However, if you're trying to manifest a relationship or you want a partner that is mutually fulfilling, that has similar goals to you, that is aligned with you, Spirit is telling you three things that you need to work on. Speaking highly of yourself in all ways, and especially when you are dating or getting to know someone. You know, you can be honest about like what you feel you need to work on or insecurities that you have. Like, you can say, you know, I'm still working on my self-esteem, but, you know, I really love XYZ about myself, or really just like anything. You just do yourself dirty. It's like kind of making me mad. I'm sorry, I felt the table vibrating and I was worried that was my phone, which, like, who the hell would be texting me this early? But I think it was just phantom vibrations. And also, maybe, speaking of vibrations, maybe you need to raise yours a little bit, because guess what? Guilt, shame, talking down on yourself, believing that you're unworthy, those are things that are going to lower it. And these three things are what's going to help raise it. Not only do you need to see yourself as beautiful, and here's the thing, beauty is so much more than your physicality. And if you're basing it purely on your physicality, you're missing out on so much, my dude. Your shell is just your shell, you know? It doesn't matter how physically attractive you are on the outside. If you have a rotten personality, it eventually is going to show. And that reality is inescapable, because it doesn't matter how much you try to make the outside look pretty. If you have a rotten inside, there's no makeup that can cover that up. There's no cosmetic procedure that can fix that. But you, my dude, have a wonderful heart. And so you automatically have beauty in the sense that your inner beauty shines through with your outer beauty. And if you're judging yourself purely for your physicality, not only is that so unfair to yourself and just the wonderful blessing that you are, because you're so much more than a physical body, but also when you feel beautiful, when you feel good about yourself, when you cultivate good energy within, it shines and it precedes you. Your energy precedes you. And whether people are consciously aware of it or not, they pick up on insecurities. They pick up on the fact that you don't feel good about yourself. They pick up on the fact that you don't feel worthy. Whether they realize it or not, that stuff happens. And that's why you can attract people that are, for example, takers. They could even have narcissistic tendencies, because people that take love givers. And the thing is that takers will take until the givers have nothing left to give. And then you end up thinking that there's something wrong with you, and there's not. It's just that you didn't set boundaries with someone and mistakenly believed that you had to earn love. You don't have to earn love. You deserve it because you're a living, breathing person. You came from love, and that's where you'll return to one day. But for now, you deserve to experience love with someone else. And you can't fully experience it if you're not receiving theirs, or you believe that you're fundamentally unworthy of it. Not only is that going to make your relationship suffer, but if you're trying to find someone that you want to be in a relationship with, it's going to be really hard to have the confidence to put yourself out there and be in a vulnerable position, because to be real, romantic relationships are incredibly vulnerable. It is scary to open your heart up to someone, but the beautiful thing is that you do it together, and you take things one day at a time, and you just see where things go. And when you have a solid foundation of healthy self-esteem, recognition of your beauty and your value, and also happiness outside of the relationship, then you're giving yourself a healthy, solid foundation outside of the relationship to lean on, even if things don't go well, or even if things do end. And if they do, it's just leading you to the person that's right for you, or your next step, and that's okay. And maybe for some of you, whatever you want to have in your life is absolutely okay. But what I am saying is that if you're trying to manifest a relationship, the best thing that you can do is find happiness in your present, because that's going to attract people. That positivity and those good feelings and that confidence you cultivate in yourself, that is going to do wonders in terms of just attracting what you desire and attracting people in that similar energy. It's quite possible that the person you're meant to meet or be with is out there, but y'all are both doing the work right now to be in an energy to truly embrace each other. But if you are in a relationship with someone, one thing that you may need to see is that your insecurities may be getting in the way of your ability to embrace and connect with your partner, and it might be causing your relationship to suffer. It may not be, but if it is, ask yourself that, because your partner sees all these things about you, that you're beautiful, that you deserve happiness, that you deserve to speak highly of yourself, because your partner thinks highly of you. And if you're not in a relationship, your future partner should think all these things of you. But I think if you're trying to manifest it, the best thing that you can do is recognize that value within you, recognize the fact that you can be happy without it, and you deserve to have happiness without it, and that even if you were to get in a relationship right now, if that relationship was the basis of all your happiness, that's not healthy. Relationships, of course, are a source of happiness, but they shouldn't be all of it, and we shouldn't rely on someone else to be our source of happiness. The best types of relationships are ones where you both have a solid foundation and you come together to just add more joy to each other's lives. You don't make it each other's responsibility. You don't make each other responsible for each other's happiness. And so one thing that you need to see is that if you're unhappy now and thinking that a relationship is going to be what makes you happy, it's gonna be a harsh realization when you get into that relationship and then you realize oh, I still have things about myself I'm unhappy with, or I'm still insecure. Like, if you think your insecurities are just because you don't have a partner yet, I'm telling you they're deeper than that. And it's really about your relationship with yourself, because your relationship with yourself and how you treat yourself shows others how to treat you as well. And the best thing that I can tell you is that you are so deserving of a loving relationship with someone who sees your beauty and adds joy to your life that you already find joy in. You deserve that, and it's there for you. You just have to trust yourself. You just have to trust that you're worthy of it, and continue doing the work to build yourself up in the present, and to see your beauty, and to be cognizant of how you are looking at yourself, and ensure you're speaking highly of yourself. You are giving yourself the credit you deserve. You are giving yourself, a pat on the back for the hard work you do. You are prioritizing your own happiness in the present, because that's the thing too. Your happiness matters. And I think one thing you need to see is that if you are basing your happiness all on your relationship, or on the idea of a relationship, you are robbing yourself of the ability to find happiness in your present, and also probably conflating how much joy a relationship is going to bring you. Because ultimately, if you are relying, which, to be clear, relationships can bring so much joy and so much happiness. I'm not saying that they don't, but if that's the only source of it, that can be very unhealthy, That can lead to codependency. That can make it so that if the relationship ended, you would be right back to square one. If you don't have a partner right now, it's likely because the universe is preparing you for that. And they want you to be in the relationship of your dreams. I wanted to say that, but then also they want you to be in a position where you're worthy of that relationship, where you're comfortable receiving love as much as you give it, where you recognize, yeah, this person should want to be with me. Yeah, this person should enjoy their time with me. Yeah, this person should be attracted to me, because I am attractive, I am beautiful, and I do have a joyful life, and I want to share that with someone who also enjoys theirs. You guys are here to mutually uplift each other, not hold on to each other for dear life and try to avoid the things you haven't wanted to heal or face about yourselves together. That's just going to lead to messiness. But not speaking of messiness, we're just going to move on to the Six of Pentacles. With the Six of Pentacles and I follow my heart, your heart will never lie to you. And I think the one thing that you need to know is with the Six of Pentacles, you deserve to have relationships in your life that give to you as much as you give to them. And I think the biggest thing is that you don't need to overthink this process, or doubt yourself, or feel like you need to know how things are going to turn out. I promise you, if you are meant to meet someone, if someone is meant to come in your life, they will, the universe will make it happen. When I say they, I mean the universe, your spirit guides, your angels. I do not leave my house often, but when I do, I often meet people that are aligned with my path in some way, and it's kind of wild. The universe does not waste time, I will say. So even if you're like me and you love being at home and living your little hermit dreams, it's still possible for you to find someone. But maybe putting yourself out there more might be useful. But if you're also feeling like, how am I ever going to meet someone, or how am I ever, and it doesn't even have to be romantic relationships, it could also just be meeting close friends, or having best friends. Maybe you've never had a true best friend. Maybe you've had close friends, but you've never felt that kinship with a bestie. That's possible for you too. And the way that you meet those people are by following your heart's desires and doing the things that truly make you feel good. That is what is going to align you with the people that are going to be most conducive for your growth, and that are going to give you exactly what you deserve to receive. And what you deserve to receive is the same beautiful love that you give others, because you do have such a big heart and you do have so much to offer the world. But you deserve to receive what the world has to offer you as well, and stop believing that you don't deserve it. You deserve balanced relationships that make you feel as good as you make others feel. And when you're in those balanced relationships, it'll be easier for you to see how special you truly are and the value you bring to the table, because you'll finally be receiving what you've been giving all along. And you'll realize, oh wow, the people from my past were dicks and they were wrong. And they don't have to be part of your story anymore. And you can release them because they don't serve you. So with that being said, I think a lot of what you just need to see about yourself is the fact that you deserve better for yourself. And you deserve to see yourself in an unconditionally loving light that embraces your strengths and your flaws. Because that's what makes you human. And no person is perfect. We all have flaws. And whoever you end up being with, and if you are already with someone and in love with them, as you will know, they're not perfect. You both have flaws. And you might get in disagreements sometimes, but a lot of growth comes from conflict, and conflict can be healthy. You might be afraid of that. You might be afraid of just really anything that... I think one thing you need to see about yourself is that if you feel guilt for receiving things from your world, even if you put in work to get them or you're generous in giving to others, that is a sign that, one, you're unbalanced, and two, that, you know, you're not valuing yourself. You have low self-worth, and that's not a thing to beat yourself up for. It's very, very common, and we all deal with it in some way or another. But that doesn't mean that's something that you should just accept. Embrace the idea that you can shed that and that you're so much more than that. And truly, one of the best ways to start feeling more confident in yourself is to do things that make your heart happy. Because when you do the things that make you feel good and that make you feel alive and make you just feel in touch with yourself and in love with life or in love with what you're doing, like, those are the things that are going to... Fuck, I lost my train of thought. I'm saying the F word so much in this reading. I might get in trouble with YouTube. I hope I don't. Oh well. I guess the point of what I'm trying to say is that you need to see that you're awesome and so worthy of love and so worthy of receiving what you give to others. This one is definitely a little bit more straightforward than the other ones, but I like it. I feel like I'm trying to pull out of what I've already said because I'm like, because you know what's so funny, pile 3? So here I am feeling guilty about the fact that your reading is going by quicker than the other two. That is an excellent example of me not recognizing the fact that if the message is shorter, the message is shorter. As long as it's received and you get it, that's all that really matters. I don't love this pile any less because the other pile was longer. It just took me longer to explain what I was experiencing and what I was channeling. So I'm even picking up on that. Like, I'm feeling like I need to keep giving and giving and giving because it's not enough. You know what I mean? And that's the thing too you need to see about yourself. What you give is enough. And you don't need to feel like you have to overgive or deplete yourself. That is something I'm so guilty of. So I will make a promise with you, pile 3. I will work on not overgiving and making sure my cup is full before I give. All right? As long as you do too. Pinky promise me. Okay? Anyway. The last thing you need to see before we start going into the next phase of this reading is the fact that you're so much more intuitive than you realize, and you're overthinking things so unnecessarily. The Two of Swords is like all about overthinking things when in reality you just need to trust your intuition. Because I think honestly, moving forward, your intuition is linked to your heart. Your heart is like the soul's secretary. So if you kind of trust its guidance, you'll generally be led in the right direction. It's very easy to overthink that. But one good example I have when it comes to trusting divine guidance is from The Wizard of Oz. When Dorothy ends up in Oz, the only guidance she's given is keep those ruby slippers on, or silver if you're reading the books, and follow the yellow brick road. They don't tell her, oh, by the way, you're going to be harassed by a witch, and you're going to make friends with a tin man, a weenie lion, and a straw guy, and they're all gonna have things that are mutually aligned with your journey too, and you guys are gonna go to this, like, well, I think she did know she was going to Emerald City, but like, point being, she didn't know what was going to happen on that journey. She took it as it came. All she was told is follow yellow brick road, and that's what she did. And so for you, following your yellow brick road is following your heart. And you just got to take things as they come. Because the thing is as you follow that, you will be aligned with companions. Which in Dorothy's case, they were just friends because our girl was young and that would be weird. But in your case, you know, these companions could be friends, soulmates, platonic or romantic. Anyone aligned with your journey, you will find them through following your heart. You will, if I never followed my heart and didn't do this, I wouldn't be talking to you. I wouldn't have some of my best friends in the entire world. I don't even want to conceive it. And that's the thing. I could have never known what was going to happen to me until I just took the risk and did the thing. And the more you do that, the more you'll realize it's actually okay. You can take risks. You can do things. You can succeed and you can flop, and it's all okay. But the worst thing that you can do is do nothing and sit and overthink and ruminate and try to figure out what you're supposed to do. Nobody knows what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sure you don't know what you're doing. None of us do. We're all just kind of winging it. And the thing is that you can wing it from your heart rather than from your mind, because it's clear that you're overthinking things to an unnecessary degree when really whatever you're meant to be doing, I feel like it's a lot simpler than you're making it out to be. Like, I feel like you're overthinking it. It's like your intuition is telling you to follow the yellow brick road, and you're like, and the yellow brick road's in front of you, but you're like, it looks kind of gold though, or like yellowish orangish. Are you sure that this is the right road? I don't know if it's the right road. Or you're like, I don't know. Point being, you just need to stop overthinking things. And if you are overthinking things, that's a sign that maybe you need to do something to get out of your head, whether that is going for a walk, meditating, exercising, anything to get out that excess energy. Because as I say all the time, anxiety screams, intuition whispers. So if you cannot hear your intuition because your anxiety is screaming, or just your loud thoughts are screaming, it's time to get out of your head, get into your body, into your heart, so that you can listen to what your heart and gut are trying to tell you. Because I think the thing is that you may be just really afraid to move forward because understandably, you may be anticipating painful past experiences happening again, because humans are wired to recognize patterns, and we're wired to anticipate what we've already experienced. That's just how it is. But that doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen. Although you might create a self-fulfilling prophecy for yourself. So, I mean, be careful. That's why it's so important to speak highly of yourself. That's why it's so important to be optimistic and to be open. And because here's the thing, there's no guarantees in life. You never know what's going to happen. You just have to make the decisions with your whole heart that feel right, and not settle for anything that just isn't for you. What you need to see is that you're not meant to live from a lack mentality. You're meant to live from an understanding that you are so, so, so loved by the universe. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. And you deserve to experience that love from the universe, not just through your own connection to it, but through mutually aligned connections to others. Humans are social creatures for a reason. We are meant to share love with one another. And the ways in which we share it are different. And our ability to share it with each other is very different, obviously, because we connect with different people and we have different interests, and the right people are out there for you. And if you haven't met them yet, that doesn't mean that they don't exist or that you never will. But it's certainly not productive to be like, I'm never gonna meet them. The wizard's never gonna help me. Like, that is not serving you. And more than anything, your life is changing rapidly. So it's time to release what isn't serving you, so you can just start being your badass self and start receiving what the world desperately wants to give you. If you're wondering why you're not manifesting abundance, why you're not getting the love and credit you deserve, it's because you're not allowing yourself to receive it. Because even if you did, you push it away, or you don't believe it. Or you slightly receive it and then feel bad about it, and then overthink about it, and then call yourself selfish for just being in a connection with someone, or just receiving from them for once rather than giving. So what you need to see is that you deserve equal give and take, and you just need to trust your intuition. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just gotta go off the vibes that feel right. The things that light your heart up and the things that just feel right. It's so much simpler than you're making it out to be. And the thing is you don't have to understand it. The wisdom of the heart cannot be conceived by the mind. You just got to trust it, because if you do, you will reap wonderful rewards and receive what you so deserve. So I am going to look at some guidance for you. I haven't used these cards in forever. These are Affirmators cards, and I have one for different categories. So this one's just the generic one. This one's related to work. This one's related to love and relationships, so probably going to be important. This one's about family, and this one's about creativity. So let's see what they have to say. I love when the guidance resonates what I was saying. We have love. Love is a many splendored thing. Today I will notice and appreciate at least 3 of those splendors. Like the fact that puppies make me feel like a parent, or a surge of self-congratulation when I sink a 3-point trash basket shot on the first try. Or how about the chills I get while singing along to Name of Song. You know the one. You want to know something? Okay, first of all, music that you should listen to. If you don't know Kino Tarot, you should. She also makes music. I literally cry when I hear her sing because I love her so much and I'm so proud of her. And I just, you know, it just takes so much strength and courage to share your voice and to create music. And yeah, like, you deserve to have friendships, relationships where you experience that and where they feel that same way for you. And love is something not exclusive to romantic relationships, but if that's something you're desiring, know that that's not the only way you can access it. And that, in fact, the more you recognize the love already in your reality that's around you, through your pets, through your family, through the friends you do have, through like the, you know, the flowers you walk by and the birds that chirp, like that's the stuff that's gonna get you in alignment with the right people, the right loving connections that you're trying to manifest. If you are already in a loving connection with someone and you are worried that you're messing it up or your insecurities are getting the best of you, know that they don't have to. You can address them and respond to them. And also, if you're with a loving partner, talking to them about it, I'm sure they're going to be super understanding and be more than willing to work with you on that. But it's really hard when you love someone and they refuse to receive your love or see it for themselves, you know? That gets draining. And you don't want to push away a good thing because you think you're undeserving of it, because you are deserving of it. And if someone is there willingly giving you their love, it's for a reason. And if you see the value in them, it's because they also see value in you, because you are valuable. You're so wonderful and special, and you deserve to see that. But for work, we have consideration. I'm a considerate person, and my new goal is radical conscientiousness. From now on, I'll leave every space tidier than I found it. I'll find small ways to support a teammate, even if they didn't ask for it. I will eat the leftover pumpernickel bagel, even though I didn't order it, and never would, because I'm considerate enough to know what sort of bagels normal humans like to eat. So yeah, I mean, I guess this is take that one as it resonates, but also, like, you know, if you're already a very considerate person, give yourself credit for that. We also have surrender, so important. Hear ye. You are hereby being called to unclench your grip on any old thought patterns that are getting in your way. Thank you. Surrender any ideas that make you feel like a victim of circumstance or which make your dream relationship seem like an impossibility. The mayor of reinvention has just arrived and made the following decree. Limiting beliefs about yourself and your life are heretofore, forthwith, and officially, indubitably declared for the birds. Even the birds want you to be in that state. Anyway, this is family. Acceptance. I accept that no one is perfect, everyone makes mistakes, and sometimes frequently my relatives say things that are mildly bothersome, totally offensive, but at my core, I am pure, unconditional love. And that love will always outshine any feeling of annoyance, desire to strangle, could ever have about someone, specifically the one behind the never-ending stream of crazy misguided Facebook rants. It's a good one. But also, remember that acceptance needs to be extended to yourself. You're flawed as hell, and that's okay. That's awesome, actually. That's what makes you human. It would be really weird if you were perfect, and, like, nobody would like that. And to be fair, like, there'd be no point in you being here anyway. So, like, even if you came into, like, I mean, think about it. Babies come into this world as perfection. We were all babies. And then we, you know, human and vibe and flop and succeed, but you know, it's all part of life. We also have support. I hereby call a dream team of support into my creative life. I'll only work with the most perfect collaborators for me and stack my projects with positive, constructive attitudes. Yeah, that's one thing you need to see about yourself, is that your own attitude could really like make yourself your own worst enemy, and you don't deserve that. If my workspace is in a treehouse, I'll hang a hand-painted sign on the door that says, "No jerks allowed." And if you're being a jerk to yourself, you better put that in check, all right? Because I don't like hearing about that. And like I said, you're literally just shooting yourself in the foot and being your own worst enemy. You don't deserve that. If my workspace isn't in a treehouse, well, then I guess I better hold everything and build a treehouse. Beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this reading off by getting a postcard from, well, I've been doing this, so it comes from an unconditionally loving source, but if you have a specific source you'd like it to come from, like an angel, an ascended master, a spirit guide, a guardian angel, a passed on loved one, or a loved one still alive, or just God, spirit, whatever you believe in that's unconditionally loving, feel free to set the intention that it's coming from them. So if you want a message from a specific source, feel free, but if not, then the message is just coming from love. So, Spirit, what message do you have for pile 3? What guidance do you have for them at this time moving forward? What do they need to know for their highest good? Okay. Ooh. So we have an angel, or like a little Cupid type cherub. And it says, love your dreams. So maybe this being was in your dreams, or if you were praying about an angel, or I guess Cupid, this could be for you. Dear wonderful you, intimacy is scary sometimes. It means you have to let someone else get to know the real you, not the perfect, flawless mask you wear for others. No, it's time to reveal the cool one, the passionate one, the imperfect one that is totally you without artifice or walls. Yes, you will be exposed and vulnerable for a time. I love when the guidance reiterates what I'm saying. I feel so validated. Sorry, I lost my place. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I just, like, you want to know that in the security, even when I'm doing this, I'm like constantly questioning everything that I do, but it's my trust in what flows through me, spirit, which is so much greater than me and my little pea brain, that, you know, I just try to trust it, and that, you know, whatever messages are meant to come out. So I get really excited when the guidance reflects that. Yes, you will be exposed and vulnerable for a time, but it will be so worth it. This is the only way you will know true closeness with others, and you will also be close to spirit and to us. There is amazing freedom that comes when you let go and just be yourself with another group, with another or a group. Release from the invisible bindings that keep you from intimacy. I lost my train of thought. Release from the invisible bindings that keep you from intimacy is truly empowering. That's a grammatically incorrect sentence. Should be releasing. Releasing from the invisible buildings that keep you from intimacy is truly empowering. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't really care. So may we support you wholeheartedly in this choice. You will know yourself better, and we hope learn to love yourself as much as we do. Life is about who we are with others, so share it. You will be so glad you did. Loving you so much, which makes me feel good, because a lot of what you're meant to see about yourself is the fact that you are the love that you're looking for, and by being the love that you're looking for, you're attracting that. Now, I'm not saying love yourself and then you'll find the person, but literally just like live in love. Like, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be you. Someone will love your flawed self, and that is so much better than someone falling for a superficial perfect artifice. And you'll only know that by opening yourself up and seeing what happens. So pile 3, I am going to leave your reading here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background while you do something else, because that is one of the simplest and easiest ways to help me pay my bills and support me and show me appreciation for what I do. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, like I said in the intro, you can like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to click that little notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload a new reading. If you want me to see your comment, I usually see comments when I first upload, so do be aware of that. I also have merch as well as my candles. My magician candle just came out, so be sure to check that out and feel free to use code ASO10 for 10% off any candles on Angelic Magic 88's site. And then my social media is there, and I think I have merch. And you can check out readings with an extended. That's really helpful too. So, or just readings in general. Watch more. That's helpful. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. I really hope that this message resonated and that you enjoyed it. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Amazonite Dragon Head, and I guess I'll put them like that so you can see them, and the Modern Witch Tarot, this is going to be a reading on what you don't see about yourself. So I'm going to start by shuffling your tarot cards, and then I will use an oracle deck to clarify. I apologize in advance because this deck's shuffling is probably going to be less satisfying because these cards are really thick and they hurt my hands. But I'm tough, so I can handle it. What I cannot handle is my crystals going everywhere and bothering me. But with that being said, I quickly just wanted to give a shout out to everyone that takes the time to leave this video a like, or just my videos in general, a like or a comment, really just anything, or a subscribe, anything like that. It's a small gesture, but it really goes a long way and it helps me so much. So thank you especially to everyone who leaves me a like, because like that is such a small way to let me know what you're enjoying and what you want to see more of. And also, thank you so much for keeping the comment section so kind and supportive of one another. It like makes my heart so happy to see you guys relating to one another and supporting one another in the comments. And yeah, a lot of times you guys say things that I need to hear too. So just thank you for sharing your thoughts, and thank you for keeping our little community so kind and awesome. And thank you for being awesome, and thank you for being here. So I thought I heard something move, which scared me. Anyway, Spirit, what does Pile 4 not see about themselves? All right, we have the Two of Pentacles to start. What does Pile 4 not see about themselves? Okay, whoa. We have the Knight of Cups. What does Pile 4? We have the Queen of Swords. What does Pile 4 not see about themselves? We have the Lovers. And on the back of the deck, we have the Six of Pentacles. You could have a special connection to Archangel Raphael. That is the angel that is shown in the Lovers. Or you may not see that you have a nice derriere. I got in a huge argument with Snapchat AI because it would not compliment me on my juicy ass. What's the point of using AI if it doesn't compliment you on how juicy your ass is? I am not programmed to comment on people's bodies. Okay, congratulations. I'm giving you consent. Anyway, that's enough oversharing. This is the Personal Power Oracle, and I'm going to use it to clarify each of these cards. So, can you clarify the Two of Pentacles for me, please, Spirit? We have I am supported. Ooh, I love it. The girlies, they look so similar. This looks like the same girl. Let me know if this looks like you. If you do look like this, you're beautiful. I mean, you're beautiful no matter what, but. Knight of Cups. I am divinely guided. Beautiful. I love that there's angel wings too, so you must have a special connection to angels. What about the Queen of Swords? Can you clarify that for me, please? I am blessed. Yes, I love that. And the Lovers. Can you clarify that for me, please, Spirit? Can you clarify the Lovers? I embrace change. And on the back of the deck, we have I release what doesn't serve me. Interesting. There may be similar messages in this pile to some of the previous piles. It's underneath here. I am celebrated. You do deserve to celebrate yourself. So if you felt drawn to any of the other piles, there might be similar messages or messages in there for you as well. But there are also unique messages in here. So let's just get this going. So starting with the Two of Pentacles, and I'm supported, one thing you need to see about yourself is that you may be doing too much. The Two of Pentacles can often be about trying to multitask or juggle multiple things, and you may feel like you have to juggle things because if you don't, like, you may be doing too much because you feel like if you don't, you're not doing enough. And one thing you need to see about yourself is that you will be supported. I'm hearing in my head, it's better to whole-ass one thing than half-ass two things. And if you're being stretched thin or feeling like you have to do a whole lot, I think you're maybe creating more stress for yourself than necessary. And I think that there is one thing that is far more important than the other, as demonstrated by, you know, the one pentacle being like lifted up much higher, but it seems like you're focused on the less important thing that's taking more of your time for whatever reason. Maybe that's because that obligation is something you do out of guilt, or you do because you feel like you have to. But one thing I think you're meant to see is that you're being supported not only by the universe, but by your connection to infinite abundance. With the Two of Pentacles here, you might actually be, and that's even shown in this infinity symbol. One thing you may not be seeing is the fact that you may be doing too much out of fear of if you don't, you're not doing enough, and then you won't be supported. And I would really take the time to look at how maybe a lack mentality is seeping into your everyday habits and behaviors, because you may be wearing yourself thin and actually cutting off your ability to receive abundance because you're spread out in so many different areas. So I feel like you're really being asked to take a look at what is truly important to you and what makes you feel good, what makes you feel supported and uplifted, because the universe wants to support that. Like, for example, let's say that you're a business owner and you often find that your house gets crazy messy because you're focusing on the business. If you can afford to have someone come and clean things up, that might save you, one, tons of stress, because having a cluttered environment can create a cluttered brain. And also, you may be like forcing yourself to do things that if you outsourced would lift a huge weight off your chest, and also you'd realize it gives you more time and energy to do the things that you love, and in turn you have more energy and things flow to you more easily. I feel like one thing that you need to know is that if you're making decisions from a place of I should, or from guilt, or from shame, those are not the decisions and behaviors most aligned with you. The universe wants you to do things that not only make you feel supported, but give you the energy to give back in return. Because actually, moving over to the Six of Pentacles, it's so interesting that the same like hand placement is there. You know what I mean? It's like one thing is more important than the other. And I feel like one thing that you're meant to see is that you deserve to receive as much as you give. And I feel like one imbalance in your life that's holding you back is that you may give from an empty cup, or give from a place of low self-esteem, or like a feeling of unworthiness. Like, you may overgive because you feel like if you gave anything less, then you're doing something wrong, or you're a bad person for that. Giving in general and being generous is a wonderful thing, but like the previous pile, you may have trouble with receiving, or you may have trouble prioritizing the connections that are mutually beneficial. And not just connections, actually, this could really extend to anything. Like, for example, what like going back to that like working and cleaning example, you know, what you get out of cleaning your house may be that you feel better and everything's put back together and you feel nice, but what you lose is time and energy that you could be spending investing in your business or whatever you're doing. And by giving a little bit of that away to have someone else do that, you could be lifting a huge stress and weight off your shoulders that was inhibiting your creativity and your ability to do what you actually enjoy. Obviously, that's just an example, but with the Six of Pentacles being here, one thing that you need to see about yourself is that there are things in your life that are not serving you. Whatever they are, I don't know. I think the semantics are different, but I feel like there are things that you may be holding on to out of obligation, especially connections. Like if you have connections that you're holding on to because of the history you share, or you feel bad, like you feel like it would make you a bad person or disloyal to kind of like distance yourself from certain people. If those people drain you, if they don't add to your life, you don't owe them anything. History doesn't mean anything when the connection isn't serving you with peace and love. Like if it's draining you, if it's taking away from you, if it's not adding to your life, it doesn't need to be part of your energy and space. Now, obviously, things can be more complicated than that, but at the very least, you need to pay attention to how much time and energy you're giving to the connections around you that don't fulfill you, and also just spending more time and energy recognizing what is draining you and not giving back to you, because anything doing that is only inhibiting your ability to be in the flow of your life and to feel more at peace and have just a more balanced and easygoing, flowing, everyday life. Now, with the Knight of Cups being here and I am divinely guided, one thing that you need to see about yourself is that the things that you're passionate about, the things that make your heart feel good, the things that inspire you and help you look at the world from a more idealistic or dreamy lens, those are wonderful qualities, and it's not delusion. It's actually divine guidance. You might feel like your daydreams or your idealistic tendencies are, like I just said, delusion. And that would probably be because people say that, but it's this whimsical magic inside of you. I'm literally thinking of the B.O.B. song that's like, I've got the magic in me. You know, like anything you touch turns into gold, which in B.O.B.'s case is the track. But for you, it could be anything. And I think that you have so much creativity that you have yet to explore and share with the world. If there are any artistic or just any creative outlets in general, what the fuck? Guys, the Hermit Tarot. My friend Lorraine just texted me. Sorry, Lorraine, I love you. It scared the shit out of me though. I was like, who's talking to me? What? It's like so early, but she's in Australia, so it's like evening there. It's normal that she would be reaching out. That was so dramatic for no reason. But anyway, I love that. Maybe there's a video from the Hermit Tarot's channel you need to check out. But also just like shout out to Lorraine. I love her so much. And yeah, if you've never checked her out before, you should. Anyway, with this I am divinely guided card, I think that you are being called to explore certain creative outlets that you feel drawn towards. And I'm feeling specifically, if you do something creative for work, or if you are so ingrained in work that you don't have time for creativity, you're really being encouraged to find time to embrace your creativity or find a creative outlet that's not monetizable, or that you're not monetizing, that's just for you. Because I think one thing that you may be missing out on by stretching yourself so thin and putting all your focus in work and practicality is that you may be feeling at times like you're lacking inspiration, or that that you don't have time or energy to do things that are just for you, or that are just creative. I feel like one thing you need to see about yourself is that you deserve to be a little bit more selfish with your time and energy. I think that you give a lot of yourself to others, and that's beautiful, but it's not healthy if you're not extending some of that towards yourself. And truthfully, it's a lot easier to give to others when you have a full cup. I mean, that's still something that I'm learning, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have balanced giving and taking all figured out, but that's why we're all here, right? I learn as much from these readings as you guys do. And you know, balance is not necessarily 50-50. Balance is whatever works for you. You know, it could be 80-40, 75-25, whatever it needs to be for you. And it can fluctuate and shift. But ultimately, I think that you may be feeling, if you're feeling like lost or uncertain about what's next for you or what direction you should be headed in, I think exploring your creativity or just exploring a creative outlet will help you get in touch with yourself in a way that's not logical. Because I think that you've been trying to seek answers from your mental body, which we'll get to. But actually, I think there's a lot of inspiration and a lot of guidance the universe wants to give you through symbolism and through art. Like, I feel like the universe is almost kind of pushing you outside of your comfort zone in terms of, like, if you're used to going about things from a very rational, logical place, that might actually be inhibiting your ability to evolve and grow, because you might be, like I said, making decisions from a place of should or of what you think you should do. But in reality, I feel like your heart is really trying to take control and lead the way, because it has so much more wisdom than your mind does. And in fact, it's leading you exactly where you need to go. You might be getting in your head and like worrying about what's next for you or what you're meant to be doing. And all it is creating unnecessary noise that's holding you back and making you feel like you can't trust yourself or that you're somehow off your path or not doing something right. One thing that you need to know is that if you ever feel like you're disconnected or out of the flow or behind, that is an illusion. You are never truly behind. Like, life is a journey. We all know that. But the quote unquote setbacks have just as much to teach you as the sprints do. And I feel like you're really being pushed outside of your comfort zone to really start leaning into your heart space more, because you have such a big heart anyway, and you already do share it in whatever way is most aligned with you. And I feel like that's one thing that people really, really love about you. But I feel like you don't trust it to guide you. And that makes sense, because we're all conditioned to look at things logically and, you know, do things that way. That's how we're taught. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. There are many situations where it is good to look at things from a logical perspective, but you're really going to be operating best when your mind is serving your heart. So your heart leads the way and your mind comes up with the practical solutions and all that jazz to get there. You don't have to understand where you're going. You just have to trust that you're being led there for a reason, because you are being divinely guided. And those nudges that you get in your heart space are not just like little whimsical dreams or silly fantasies. There's wisdom or signs or communication. There's something in there. There's something of value in there that you have yet to explore, and you're not going to know what it is until you try. And you can't explore it if you're spending all your time, you know, with 50 million things on your plate and not leaving any time for yourself. So one thing you need to see is that you are not a bad person for taking time for yourself, and the universe is not going to punish you for taking time for yourself. The universe is actually trying to work overtime to get you to realize that you deserve to take time for yourself, that you deserve to take a step back and recognize that you need rest just as much as everyone else. And right now, in a lot of areas, in pretty much the entire world, we are like chronically stressed and overworked and underloved and just, man, burnt out and tired. And I feel like if you've been feeling really, really, really tired and like you just don't know what is meant for you, or just like you just don't know how you're gonna get through things, like what you need to know is that if life starts feeling dim, that's when your divine fire needs to be lit again. It's when your Agni needs to be lit. Look at your, you might want to do some solar plexus healing. Heart chakra healing, solar plexus healing, I think could both be very beneficial for you, because not only are you giving from an unbalanced place, but like I said earlier, like you're inhibiting your ability to receive from your environment because you're spreading yourself so thin and not dedicating yourself to the things that you actually genuinely enjoy. I feel like you're holding yourself to unnecessary obligations that don't even serve you anyway. If you're holding on to them because you think you should, that's not a good reason. And you will be amazed at how much lighter you feel when you're no longer holding yourself to certain expectations. What's really interesting is that, you know, the girl in this card is looking at, you know, this girl over here, but you can only see half of their faces. And I think that's something that Spirit is trying to get you to understand, is that you're not going to see the full picture when you're in the thick of it. You're gonna see things in hindsight, and you're gonna reflect and be like, oh wow, the universe was supporting me and I knew I was safe. But it's really up to you to believe. Believing is seeing. Instead of thinking seeing is believing, believing is seeing for you. And the more you believe that you're supported, the more you trust in that guidance, you trust where your heart is leading you, the results and the shifts and changes in your life and in your energy will speak for themselves. And you will realize, oh wow, I was really holding myself to a lot of unnecessary things. I should really release what doesn't serve me. And you will. You will. I know you will. But speaking of the Queen of Swords with I am blessed, I think one thing that you kind of struggle with at times is really being present and also taking stock of all the blessings that are in and around you. You definitely get back to that place. Like I can tell you do take time to express gratitude, but I think that at times, especially when you get stressed or you get overwhelmed, it's really hard for you to remember all those blessings, and you might almost just get yourself really worked up unnecessarily, because it's almost like your brain works yourself up into a tizzy because it either becomes overwhelmed or it hasn't had time to decompress, or there's just too much information. It's like information overload, or you're just in your head worrying, and you almost forget that you're connected to this unconditionally loving, unlimited source of divine intelligence and unconditional love. And you may just forget that you're doing a great job and you don't need to be so harsh on yourself. I think one thing you need to see as well is that you are very harsh on yourself and hold yourself to unrealistic standards that no one can achieve. And you might think, well, I can achieve it. No, you can't. Lower your expectations. And maybe you can achieve those high expectations, but maybe you're holding yourself to time limits, or having this expectation that you're going to do tons of stuff in a short amount of time. More than anything with this Queen of Swords here, I feel like you deserve to show yourself more compassion. And I also think that you don't recognize how much loving support you have around you, because you may spend time like beating yourself up or criticizing yourself or thinking about what you should be doing, or always thinking ahead to the point where you're never really being present or reflecting on the past. So one thing I do think you need to see about yourself as well is that you're very intelligent, and this brilliance is a wonderful thing, but your brain can be your worst enemy or your best friend. And sometimes it really gets in the way of your ability to, one, go with the flow and trust and follow the unknown, and those little pangs of desire that your heart gives you that kind of lead you in the right directions. I really feel like you need to see that while your brain is incredible and does amazing things, it can also be wrong sometimes, especially when it comes to the truth of who you are and how wonderful you are and the value that you bring to the people in your life. And your brain deserves to serve your heart, because it is a brilliant servant that can accomplish a lot when it's not spending its time worrying or criticizing or strategizing how you're going to do things. I really do feel like you're harsh on yourself. And one thing that you need to know is that you're so blessed, and your guides, the universe, is not judging you the way that they think they are. In fact, if you ever think that your spirit guides are judging you, you are judging yourself and projecting that judgment onto them, because your guides are unconditionally loving, same as the universe. Your guides in the universe don't have ego. Humans have ego, but guides do not. So anytime you project anything, anytime you assume that your guides are judging you or disappointed in you or, you know, thinking that they're frustrated with you, there's no such thing. They literally are the energy of unconditional love. They do not have ego the same way humans do. If you are projecting those things onto them, pay attention to that and let that go, because that's not the reality of the situation. They're never judging you. It doesn't matter. You can mess up. You could have one lesson to learn this lifetime, and you can mess it up your entire life. The universe is patient as hell. You can go back around again and do it. That's fine. They got time. Well, time isn't necessarily real, but that point of what I'm saying is that you may not realize what the ways in which you're projecting and almost creating these beliefs for yourself that the universe is pushing you to work this harder, needs you to spread yourself thin, or needs you to be so critical with yourself. And that's not the case. That's just your own inner dialogue and your own limiting beliefs and that's your own ish that you're projecting onto the universe. And what the universe wants you to do is soften and do your best to get out of your mind. Because your mind is a wonderful place, but it's not a place to live in. It is a place, it is just an element of you. It is not all of you, and it is not the only place from which you should be perceiving things. And truthfully, I feel like your mind is causing you to miss out on blessings right in front of you, and also causing you to miss out on beautiful present moments that are meant for you. So with that being said, let's talk about the Lovers. Because I definitely think that in this case, this Lovers is talking about choices, which the Lovers card does talk about. Now, there's no saying that this couldn't relate to a romantic relationship. If you're trying to manifest some sort of union with someone, it could be that the universe is trying to get you to see that the things you're being guided to do are what is going to lead you to this person or lead you to union with this person. If that's something that you're manifesting, maybe you don't know who this person is yet, but you're looking for, a lover. But that's going to come through shedding old skin and changing. But circling back to my original point, which was about choices, you're really being encouraged to challenge yourself to only make decisions from a place of love. Lead from love rather than lack. So, for example, a loving choice might be, if you're spread really thin, not forcing yourself to get up the next day and do all of your laundry. Let the laundry sit there and be stinky. Maybe take it to a laundromat or hire a laundry service and let yourself freaking relax for a day. Go to a class or paint something or hang out with someone that makes you feel good. Do something that makes you feel replenished and that makes you feel loved. Because not only do you deserve that, but the more you make decisions from a place of love, the less you will feel compelled to make a decision from a place of lack, or to make decisions because you feel obligated to, or to do things out of shame or guilt. The more you operate and make choices from a place of love, the more the universe is going to reflect that back to you. And the thing is that it is never too late to look at things from a place of love. It is never too late to make decisions from a place of love. And it is never going to hurt you to be more loving and kind to yourself. Nothing bad comes from that, I promise you. It's quite possible. You could have grown up in a family where there was very high expectations, or you could have had parental or guiding figures that were really hard on you. An example that I'm thinking of is, if you've ever, Jay Pritchett from Modern Family, that character at least, obviously that's not the actor's name, but he was also in a much older sitcom that I forget the name of. Sorry. He's also the dad in that one, though. I know the Gen Xers are going to be triggered. But it's okay. Just educate me in the comments about what sitcom it is. I think it's Married with Children. I think that's the sitcom. But I haven't really seen it. I just know he was in it. And I know that in Modern Family, they often pay homage to his character in Modern Family. But anyway, you're really being encouraged to see that making choices from a place of love oftentimes does not mean doing the thing that's spreading yourself thin or going above and beyond. Oftentimes it's the one that helps you slow down, helps you be present and recognize the love and the joy that is right there in front of you. Because the more you replenish yourself and do just cultivate that loving energy for yourself, the easier it is for you to one, serve others in any way that you do and give that love freely without coming from a place of depletion and being drained. I also just think with this I embrace change that you are being moved into the next stage of your life, whatever that is for you. And there's a lot of change that needs to happen in order for you to I feel like there's an awareness on your end that you're ready for the next level. Like you're ready to evolve. You're ready for something new. And that can't happen unless you release what serves you and you are willing to start doing things differently. It's like, you know what you need to do. I feel like a lot of what I'm telling you, you probably already know deep down. Whether it's because I've talked about this in readings or you're just intuitive and smart and you know those things. And I'm just confirming what you know. But knowing isn't being. And so it doesn't matter how much you know something. If you're not being it and not doing it, it's pretty much useless. It's just percolating in your head. Which, what good is that doing? It's just taking up unnecessary real estate. So really what you need to see about yourself is that you're so hard on yourself and you are missing out on so many opportunities to explore and enjoy your life more because you are making decisions from a place of obligation and shame, and it doesn't serve you because the universe doesn't want that for you, and you are serving the universe less effectively and yourself less effectively than you could be by slowing down, giving more time and energy to yourself, to your interests, to the things that you want to explore, and delegating things that are wearing yourself thin, that you really don't need to be doing, and giving yourself permission to really start dedicating yourself to the things that you do genuinely enjoy and that you do want to invest all your energy in, because you're freaking unstoppable when you do invest your energy into something. And if you feel like things aren't going as quickly as you'd like, one, that may just be because you need to be more patient, but also I think that you are slowing yourself down because you're wearing yourself thin. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead now and get some guidance for you. I haven't used these cards in so long, but I love them. So these are Affirmators cards, and I have the generic one for your work life, one for love and relationships, one for family, and one for creativity. So to start, we have generosity. I give generously to those around me, no matter how much or how little I have. I know that there is more than enough to go around, and the key is to allow it to keep going around without stopping. If I stop the flow, I'm like the one person in the stadium who doesn't do the wave. Now, with that being said, where I would check that is generosity is not generous if it's not coming from a place of purity. If it's coming from a place of obligation or should, that's not generosity. That's giving in order to feel accepted or feel valid. And also, you shouldn't be giving from an empty cup or giving when you have nothing. Obviously, it's wonderful to be generous, and you are generous, but I also think you need to recognize that even the small things are generous. Like, you may feel like your generosity is only generous. How's that word count for you? You're only generous if you go above and beyond. But sometimes it's just the small things, like giving someone a compliment or taking time to, listen to a friend vent, or, buying your buddy a coffee when you know they're having a hard day. Like, that stuff can go a long way. You don't need to go so hard all the time. Small things make a huge impact, and don't underestimate that. But we also have, I like this word, unflappability. I am an unflappable goddess when my work is critiqued. When I receive criticism, I hear the feedback, accept when I need to change, then wipe from my memory any harsh words, tones, implications, or brazenly obvious eye rolls. I'm totally impervious to anything that would make the average person feel judged or insulted. Got that, you condescending dummy who can't kill my spirit? I feel this one in my soul. It is hard to be unflappable, but you can do it. I'm a sensitive little baby, and I can somehow handle the smoke. Sometimes it hurts my feelings, but even the negativity that gets directed at you, pile 4, it's teaching you something. So, you know, everything serves in its own way. Sometimes we just would prefer it less. We also have commitment. I willingly accept that it's safe to topple my walls and commit completely to a relationship. It might be one that's already here or one that's on the way. Either way, those walls have got to go. Without them, I can go further, feel freer, and love bigger than ever before. Bonus, no walls mean I save a lot of money on picture frames. But I also think this commitment extends to things outside of relationships. But, I mean, that very well could be a thing. We have the Lovers here, and I embrace change. So that could very well be something that you're being geared up for. But I think one way that, especially if you're trying to manifest a commitment in your life, is start being committed to making these changes that you know you need to make. Be the changes that you want to create. Stop knowing them. Be them. Do them. Anyway, we have tone. I adopt a warm, kind, and loving tone, especially during tense interactions, knowing that hostile tones can escalate civil disagreements into total apocalyptic meltdowns. I do my best to play the bigger role and keep things calm and loving. My docile tone will remain steadfast, but no promises about the twitching eyeball. Love that. Yeah, maybe eagles are significant too. I don't know why, but that just really stuck out to me. But we also have my own champion. I am an unabashed, unconditional, shouting through a megaphone champion of myself and my work. If a useless, up-to-no-good, critical voice in my head tries to discourage, dissuade, or diss me, I politely say, thank you for your input. And then I much less politely stuff that critical voice into a box, light the box on fire, throw it into a bottomless abyss. I knew that abyss would come in handy one day, which is beautiful because there is just so much beauty and value within you, and you know, you really deserve to explore that more because there's so much creativity that is yet to be explored. And I really feel like you're not only going to develop a deeper connection to your heart space, but I feel like it'll be easier for you to hear your heart and hear what your emotions, what your soul is trying to tell you. Sorry, I'm burping. When you're able to see it physically in front of you. That being said, I don't know why I paused like that. We're going to finish this reading off with a postcard from an unconditionally loving source of your choice. So while I shuffle, you know, if you want this postcard to come from a loved one in heaven, a loved one still here, your spirit guides, an angel, an ascended master, or just God, spirit, the universe, whatever, it's up to you. But while I shuffle, you can just picture in your mind who you want this message to technically be from. No matter what, the only requirement is that it's unconditionally loving. And we will see what message the universe has for you. All right, Spirit, what message do you have for pile 4 that they need to know at this time? Please. Okay. I want to see. I don't know. Looks like there's a little cherub guy. Ooh, this says from heaven. So if you were manifesting a message from heaven, from someone in heaven, message received. Dearest you, we are sending you waves of love and joy as we watch you reap the rewards of your tenacity and faith. We know how long it has taken for you to reach some of your goals and that you've had disappointments along the way. Right now, we suggest that you take a deep breath and fill yourself up with gratitude and tune into the vibration of well-being. Temporary conditions may be trying to hypnotize you into seeing something else as your reality, but we know that happy rewards are on their way to you even now. Change is the only constant, so be open to it. You will achieve your dreams more and more, we promise, but more important, your happy rewards will be gathered up in the small moments, the gentle breezes, the soft kisses, and the quiet commitments. Your happiest moments will be on the journey itself, not in arriving at any destination. You are surrounded by so much love and care. Can you feel us? Oh my gosh, my heart is like bursting. So if you can't feel it, are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? I hope you are, but if not, really challenge yourself today to get out of your head and into your heart and ask, you know, the unconditional love that's around you to make itself apparent and to feel it and to show it to you in any way, because I promise your guides will do it tenfold. And there are definitely angels around you and passed on loved ones around you. There's a lot of love around you. And if you're in your head, you are missing out on so much of it. And why miss out on an opportunity to connect with love in your present moments? It seems silly not to. So pile 4, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background while you do something else. I'm not a monster. I don't expect you to watch them, but they help me so much, and they help me like pay my bills. So thank you so much for doing that. But if you'd like to support me in any other ways, like I said in the intro, you can like, comment, subscribe. All of that is so helpful. You can check out my candle collection. I just came out with a new candle. Go check it out, and be sure if you are getting any candles to use code ASO10 for any candles for 10% off on any candles on the site. You can also check out my merch as well as my social media. All of that is linked down below. Oh, and you can check out any other readings, extendeds, all that. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys, pile 4. So thank you so much for watching and for being here. I really hope this message resonated and you enjoyed it. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!